The NFL draft is most definitely approaching, and now we're going to talk tonight about some of the positions we haven't broken down in depth. We're going to talk about some of the sleepers at the sleeper positions. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that, but you know what's up tonight. It's Wednesday night, it's 10 o'clock, and we are live. Welcome everybody to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Wa2K99. Thank you as always for taking the time to join the fun, to join the show, to join the party, to join the extravaganza here that we have every Wednesday night together. So it's going to be a little bit more draft talk. Man, the draft feels so close away, but when you're coming up with more content, it feels like, oh my gosh, I got to find a new angle here. Because we're getting to that crazy time of year when, all the draft experts, all the scouts, all the prognosticators are suddenly trying to gain a little bit of attention, and they're coming up with all the crazy spins on things. So we'll talk tonight about a few players at some random positions that the Jets might go after a little bit later on in the draft. But before we do that, before we get to the trivia, before we get to the mock drafts, the wheel, whatever else we might have going on tonight, I want to talk about you guys. I want to say a quick hello to my friends here in the chat. We're going to start with the great Hank G. Hello, good to see you, my friend. I'm glad you're here. Jets mess, the first to arrive, and not always the last one to leave, but he is almost always the first one to arrive. Channel member as well. Good to see you, my friend. Channel memberships are available if you are so interested for a mere $4.99 a month. It's less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, for crying out loud. But I'm glad you're here. The great Arlen Abraham has dropped by too. Good to see you here, my man. Arkansas, I know you're here as well. Glad you have shown up tonight. All right, so let's talk about what's going on around the world of sports in a little bit of what we like to call 3 and Out. So last night we did a little live stream. Quick hello to the great Nathan Colgrove. I'm always glad when he takes the time to drop by. I'm glad you're here, my friend. Thank you so much. So we did a little live stream last night in a game called hockey. It was the Rangers and the Islanders. I had, how do I say this, rather passionate fans from both sides. It was interesting. We had over 110 people in the live stream. It was pretty crazy. Islanders win the game with an empty net goal late. Rangers, despite the loss, are 3 points up still on both Carolina and Boston. They still control their own destiny for having the best record in the Eastern Conference. And credit to the Islanders, they maintain control of the third spot in the Metropolitan Division. They are, last we checked, 2 points up on Washington, 3 up on Pittsburgh, 3 up on Detroit. But I'm going to say this again. There's been a lot of controversy, a lot of argument about some of the shots that were taken at some point during the game. And I'm going to say this again. I don't have a problem with what Adam Pelech, that collision that Pelech had with Mika Zibanejad that knocked the Rangers' best center out for the rest of the game. I don't think Pelech was looking at Zibanejad. I don't think he raised his elbow, his shoulder. I'm being objective here, all right? Zibanejad missed the rest of the game. It sucked. He should be okay. I got no issue with that. I don't think Pelech meant to do anything. However, on the other hand, was the hit by Noah Dobson on Vincent Trocheck with just 10 seconds left to go. And to me, that was absolutely unacceptable on every level. Don't believe me? Well, you know what? I decided to make it a little. I decided to just show you a little bit of the evidence here. So let's watch the clip. Watch the right side of your screen. Here comes Dobson. Trocheck, boom, knocked into the boards. Absolutely ridiculous. Facing the boards, he goes headfirst in the boards. Could have taken him out for the season. Thankfully, it didn't. but it was absolutely an illegal hit. I'm not saying the Rangers would have won the game or even tied the game with 10 seconds left, but Dobson absolutely should be suspended for that hit. That was an absolute disgrace. These two teams are going to face off again on Saturday, 12:30. It's going to be Kids Day at Madison Square Garden. How good is that? You get a blood rivalry and say, bring Junior, bring Bobby Jr., bring Sarah Jr., bring Laquan, bring everybody out there with you, and let them learn about the greatness of hockey. Rusty Spooner being a clown here again, being an Islanders homer. His comment is not going on. Even with a super chat, I don't think I'd be putting that on, pal. Be fair, be objective. I was objective about what happened to Zibanejad. You should be objective as well. And by the way, karma isn't real. If karma was real, the Patriots would not have won all those Super Bowls. And believe me, we've been in the playoffs a lot sooner than 13 freaking years ago. Anyway, but that aside, let's move on to basketball. Knicks have just clinched the playoff spot as of about 5 minutes ago. They beat the Bulls last night, 128-117, avenging Friday's loss at the United Center. So it looks like as of right now, not all the games tonight are final yet, but they're looking to be a game and a half back of Milwaukee for the 2 seed. But Giannis is out for the Bucks for the rest of the regular season with a calf strain. Don't know when he is going to be back. But the Knicks have clinched the top 6 spot, thus avoiding the play-in tournament. Very, very important. And I got to say, the Jalen Brunson plus OG Anunoby combination, it is something to watch. I can't remember the last time I've had this much fun watching the Knicks. Brunson, 45 points last night, 8 assists. Brunson averaging 40 points per game over his last 7. He has been amazing. And he has proved a lot of the doubters wrong. People who said he's a good 2-man on a very good team or a great team. The Candace Parkers, the Kenny Smiths, they've all had to eat a little crow with a side of humble pie for dessert. I wonder how it feels, But Anunoby scored 24 points. And he could shoot outside. He could defend the wing. And for so many years, the Knicks had so much issue defending the 3. Anunoby is so good at that. This team is so good right now. Precious Achiuwa can't get on the court, and he was enormous filling in that spot when Mitchell Robinson went down. He's like not even playing right now. The Knicks are so deep, and when Anunoby plays, they are 17-3. Unbelievable. But there's 2 other things from this game I really liked. One, the Knicks made 19 of 20 free throws. And for so long, that's been another bugaboo of the Knicks, the inability to make free throws. But there was one other thing from that particular game that I enjoyed an incredible amount. And I'd like to share that with you as well, if you don't mind, if you'll indulge me here. So let's watch this particular play. And as you can see on your screen right now, the Bulls have a 3-on-0. That you see the basketball right there on the ground. You see 3 white jerseys. There is not another Knick in position. Let's see what happens. This is 5 seconds long, so let's watch. Dribble. Play off the backboard, and oh! What happened? Watch it again. Oh, my goodness. I'll tell you what. One more time. Oh. As somebody who lived in the city of Chicago and the Chicago region for 20 years, that had to deal with a majority of the Chicago Bulls dynasty, what we just watched, I can't see that happen enough to that franchise. Cannot. Oh, we are a long ways away from the days of Air Jordan, aren't we? But anyway, the Knicks have the Celtics tomorrow night in Boston. That's going to be a tough one. Then they've got the Nets Friday, and they've got the Bulls Sunday at home to close out the regular season. Hey, we got Elon here, the king of positivity himself. I'm glad you're here, man. He's got 2 Iowa Hawkeyes in mind. I guess he's an Iowa fan. Nose tackle Logan Lee and tight end Eric All, both day 3 prospects. Well, my friend, I will say this. I will be talking about a certain player from Iowa. Will it be one of these 2? I just might be doing that. But yeah, I'm not going to talk too much. I'm not talking tonight about wide receiver, defensive tackle, offensive line, the positions we've already gone over. I'm going with some of the more obscure positions today. All right. And then we got to talk about baseball a little bit. The Yankees and Marlins just went final. Marlins defeat the Yankees 5-2, their second win of the year. Jake Berger with the big blow in this game. It was a 3-run homer off the wonderful human being that is Marcus Stroman, the same pitcher who accuses pretty much everybody and their brother of racism and then blocks them on social media. The only reason he hasn't blocked me is I've never said a thing to him. Okay. But I really thought the Yankees were coming back in this game because the Marlins have, in my mind, the biggest stiff closer, maybe in baseball, in Tanner Scott. He is so brutal. Verdugo grounds out, and then Bertie singles. Trevino pops out, and Anthony Volpe walks. Juan Soto walks. It's bases loaded, and Aaron Judge does fly out to center field, but I'm telling you what, Tanner Scott is as shaky a closer as you can have. But Yankees still up to a fantastic start. Whole lot of credit to them. But you know what? There's a lot of people, particularly on the radio, saying, man, lock it up. Yankees are going to the World Series. You can't say anybody's going anywhere. Nobody. The only thing you can be sure of is the Oakland Athletics are a disgrace to the sport. That is pretty much it. Because with the way the playoffs are set up with these best-of-3 series after a 162-game season, all that matters is that you make the tournament and that you're healthy. It doesn't mean anything. We have seen so many teams who have a first-round bye in the playoffs fall apart immediately and get eliminated. Do I have to run down the teams over the last few years that this has happened to? Who saw Arizona, 1, making the playoffs, 2, making the World Series? So you got to keep this whole thing in perspective. It's all about the journey. Take each game as it comes. We got to be fair about this. All right. So I tell you what, with that in mind, let's talk a little bit. Let's talk our main event here. It is time to get into a little bit of football tonight. So everybody say it with me. Say it proud. Say it. That's right. It's time to talk a little New York Jets football. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the NFL in general, because there's been a little bit of news coming out this week. First of all, the Green Bay Packers and Philadelphia Eagles will be the teams to open the season in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So that game will be broadcasted on CBS? No. Will it be broadcast on ESPN? No. NBC? No. It'll be broadcasted on Fox? No. It'll be broadcast on Peacock. Behind the paywall. Hope everybody's got their subscription ready to go. I only have it really to watch WWE and Dateline episodes when I can't sleep. Okay? That's pretty much my reason for having Peacock. But the thing with the NFL, and this policy came down quite recently. I don't know how many people know about this because I didn't until recently. But every NFL team has to play at least one international game every 4 years. The last time the Jets played internationally was that disaster against Atlanta. Oh my gosh, that was a game worth forgetting. So if the Jets don't play this year outside of the United States, it will be next season. So it is coming. Keep that in mind. I noticed the Miami Dolphins hosted a certain free agent today, and that free agent was our old friend, number 58 defensive end, Carl Lawson. You wonder if he's on a little bit of a revenge tour right now, trying to get a little bit of attention, trying to get a little bit of space. Thing with the Dolphins is they've lost a lot in the middle of their defensive line as opposed to their edge rushers. But there is space for another edge rusher on that team. And will the Jets have to see Carl Lawson twice a year? Because I still believe that would have turned out to be a very, very good free agent signing. He just got hurt. And he got hurt in the worst places you can, the Achilles and then in the back. And he just never recovered. You know, it's a free agent signing in my mind. It's a what could have been. We're just never going to know what it would have been. But, let's see if he signs that contract with Miami. We shall see. T'Vondre Sweat. I want to spend a minute on this. So this is, in my mind, maybe the second or third best defensive tackle in the draft. A couple mock drafts we've done. We've had T'Vondre Sweat mocked to the Jets. In those situations where we trade down, get a second-round pick, Sweat has been a target a few times. Well, he was arrested in Austin this weekend on a DWI. We'll see what that winds up doing to his draft status. Maybe it will affect it. Hey, maybe Marvin Harrison Jr. can get one next. I'm just saying. I'm not advising him to drive drunk. I'm just saying if it happened, maybe certain things would be able to happen. And I do want to say this. and I kind of alluded to this at the top of the show. Can we please stop with this talk of Malik Neighbors being the best wide receiver in this class, being better than Marvin Harrison Jr.? Please. For months and months and months, all I've heard from every draft expert out there, every podcaster, every fan who's, anybody who I think has some credibility, or anybody who does like research, who watches college football and really does this, on a regular basis, certainly more than I do. Okay. But I've been hearing Marvin Harrison Jr. is like the most perfect wide receiver prospect since like freaking Megatron, since Calvin Johnson, since Randy Moss, all of that. All of a sudden, some of these scouts, these no-name scouts, they're trying to get a little bit of attention. So now you're starting to hear all these crazy draft takes because you've been hearing the same reports for weeks and weeks and months and months. And now you got to get some attention. You got to get some clickbait. You got to get some buzz going. So it's like, what can I do to stir it up and get a little bit of attention? That is all this is to me. Okay. So I don't want to hear, I know some people really love Malik Neighbors, and God bless you. Very talented kid. I'm not taking that away from him. But the only receiver I'm even considering trading up for is Marvin Harrison Jr., no one else. All right. I want to say hello to the great Johnny Jimenez, my fellow Virginia Jets fan. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you and the wife are doing well. Glad you could take a minute away from spending time with Mrs. Jimenez. I am glad you are here, my friend, for sure. I haven't done a little research on your boy Anthony Gould. Anthony Gould's rising up the draft ranks, man. I got to say, there's some people giving him a little bit of attention. I'm seeing him mentioned on some articles, but we will all of us know, those of us who are here, we know that Anthony Gould is a Johnny Jimenez guy. No doubt about it. Johnny was the first one to ever mention him. Maybe he's his agent. I don't know. All right. If anybody cares about the uniforms, I'm sure a few people do. Those will be released in 5 days, next Monday. Now, the edict did come down that now you could have 3 helmets this season. So the Jets could have a green, a white, and a black helmet if they so choose. The only thing I really want, and I'm really, really asking for with these uniforms, I need to see New York or Jets somewhere on the jersey. Yes, the white jersey looked great last year when they were wearing them. But here's the thing. There is a difference between a great jersey and a great uniform. And I've learned that more as I've watched like hockey with the Stadium Series and the Winter Classics. It's like the jersey by itself may not look great, but then you combine it with the helmet, with the pants, the socks, and it's like, okay, I see what the whole idea of this was. But in this case, we're just talking about a jersey because we as fans, we're not buying the whole uniform. We're just buying a jersey. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be walking down the street, and I don't want somebody thinking, well, what team is he wearing? Michigan State, North Texas, Philadelphia Eagles, Marshall. I mean, what is he wearing right there? Okay, now, so I need to have New York or Jets, whether it's on the left chest, whether it's across the center, somewhere there. I got to have that. Otherwise, I'm going to be quite disappointed. That's right. The Mets didn't lose tonight. Fantastic. Hopefully they win tomorrow. But, hey, if they only took 1 out of 3 in Atlanta, you know what? You live with it, and then you go from there. But they've been showing some fight lately. I can't take that away from them. And, man, one thing we've learned very quickly with the Mets, David Stearns, if you don't produce as a pitcher, your ass is out. We've already DFA'd 2 pitchers already, and we're 2 weeks into the season. Man alive. Rusty Spooner doing what he does best, giving some draft takes. Marvin Harrison Jr. has been the best wide receiver in college for the last 3 years. Go Buckeyes. Hope we can land Sweat in the 4th. I don't think he's going to go to the 4th, but I think the 3rd round could be very possible. Yeah, I don't think he's getting out of day 2 still. Don't think that's quite going to happen. All right, and there will be black uniforms. It'll be interesting to see what those look like. But I am looking forward to the unveiling. Oh, and the Mets, 4 days after that, are unveiling Connect City jerseys. All right, now most of these teams have them. Most of them really tend to aggravate the fans because it's different color schemes. It gets really creative. We're pretty sure that it's going to relate to the 7 train. So there'll be some black, there'll be some purple. I don't want a purple jersey as a Mets fan, but give me like a dark gray jersey or something like that. And then the numbers could be like purple circles with the number in the middle, like you have with the 7 train. Now that I think would be pretty cool. If the purple is like an accent color, then I think it could work. But come on, after we've seen the Boston Red Sox wear freaking yellow, I mean, my God, the City Connect jerseys are rather horrifying. But I think this can be done very, very well. It can be cool, but please don't give us too much purple. We don't want to look like freaking Barney. Okay. Elon, a big Paul O'Neill guy, followed him out the door. Okay. Yeah, I will say this. I love baseball. The Mets have long been my top team, but yeah, it gets a little bit arduous. It really does, with the rule changes and yeah, the way they do reviews and stuff like that. I gotta say this. I'm just really frustrated the way the pitchers get injured. I mean, the way that elbow injuries are going up and up and up. I mean, it's an average of 30 pitchers a year that need Tommy John surgery, and that's just the major leagues. That's not even counting the minor leagues, guys. So it gets frustrating when you lose like a star pitcher for a year and a half. It's very, very tough. But you know what? I love the Mets. I'm always going to love the Mets. No way around that. But as far as the actual sport goes, baseball is starting to take a little bit of a backseat for me. Yeah. But yeah, no doubt about it. And hey, it's cool living in the Norfolk area because the tides are amazing. Absolutely amazing. Rusty, you know what? The Los Mets jerseys were pretty good, but yeah, that's the thing. The City Connect jerseys, it's always a different color than the core, than what the team always wears. We have to accept that that's the way it's going to go. Put it this way, it can't be as bad as the Mercury Mets. Nothing can ever be as bad as the Mercury Mets, okay? Yeah, it's not only because they pitch so hard, Johnny, it's also because they don't have any time off. They're doing nothing but playing baseball. You know, it used to be, you know, when you and I were kids, you played baseball, you'd run, you play football, maybe play hockey, basketball, whatever it might be. But now if these coaches and parents feel like they got a future in here, this is what they're doing 12 months a year. So if they're throwing max velocity, throwing these tricky pitches, and they're not getting rest, that thing's going to go. And they say the UCL, the ulnar collateral ligament in that elbow, it doesn't mature really until you turn 26 years old. Heard that from a doctor a couple days ago. 26 years old, and these guys were going all out 10 years before that. It's no wonder Tommy John's happening. I feel like when a pitcher gets drafted in the majors, they may as well just go get their Tommy John right away. It's going to come. Let's just get the thing out of the way, right? Man, oh man. All right, one or two other notes real quick. Ron Middleton and some of the Jets front office personnel were at the Georgia Pro Day, watching Brock Bowers in particular. I found that interesting. I saw Dom C. wrote that front office personnel from the Jets were there. Joe Douglas was not believed to have been there, and I didn't know the Jets had anybody left in their front office aside from Joe Douglas. You know, we talked about, you know, who left the Jets this week. We do that almost every week. Rex Hogan left. Chad Alexander left. We've never heard anything about who took these guys' jobs. So who's there? I really wonder who's there. But the Jets did host Jaden Hicks, the safety, on Monday for a workout. This is a guy that's been mocked to the Jets quite a bit. I like him a whole lot. I think he'd be a great fit around the fourth round for the Jets. 6'3", 212 pounds. Very, very smart player. Super quick. Great range. Gets downhill fast. Can run sideline to sideline for you. Takes very, very good angles. Can play the box. Can play center field. I think he would be a very, very good addition, and I'm glad the Jets have some interest in him. By the way, it would be a good week to re-sign Ashton Davis. Just saying, to help with the special teams and some depth at safety. I wouldn't mind it. All right. That's it for the news, guys. Let's talk a little bit about the sleepers today. All right, so I'm going to pull that up right there. That's right, the sleepers at the Jets sleeper positions. There we go. So we're going to do 4 positions today. We're going to do 1 on offense and 3 on defense. Now, I didn't think I was going to look at tight end, but the more I thought about it, the more I thought, well, you know what, the Jets were looking at Michael Mayer last year about bringing him in. And even though I think they have very good depth, maybe not super high upside, but very, very good depth, I think they still could potentially look at the tight end position. So let's look at that first. And the first player I want to look at, I'm not saying these are my top guys, but I think these are some players the Jets could target, is Theo Johnson from Penn State University. Now, Penn State is known as linebacker U, but you could call him tight end U as well. They make some good tight ends, from Mike Gesicki to Pat Freiermuth. But Theo Johnson, he's a big boy, 6'6", 260 pounds. 2023 had 34 receptions 341 yards, 7 touchdowns, had a great Senior Bowl, really good combine. He's a former wide receiver, so you know he's had some time figuring out how to catch the ball. Has a great catch radius, very, very reliable hands. He does not drop passes, and he's versatile, can play many roles and schemes, good yak ability. So there is a lot to like here with Theo Johnson. Some of the things to work on, his blocking technique needs a little bit of help, and he can get a little bit better in run support. So this is a receiving first tight end. As far as a projection with him, I could see him going late in the third, at best, maybe in the fourth round as well. I know that tight end, again, is not the biggest need the Jets have, but we know that this front office is going to take the players they like the most within reason, and they are very willing to take a tight end. If it's not Brock Bowers, I think Theo Johnson is a realistic target late in the third round, early in the fourth round. Okay. Now, this next player is a tight end that I've seen mocked to the Jets a couple of times before. It is Tanner McLaughlin from the University of Arizona. All right, he is 6'5", 244 pounds. Now, McLaughlin, he is going to challenge for snaps in the NFL when there's multiple tight end sets available. All right, he's not a great blocker. He's got room to grow there, but he's got a very good floor in my mind. He can make an impact early in his career as a receiver. Very strong hands, very good catch radius. He will do what he has to do to get loose. He can stiff arm you. He can juke. He can spin. Jets Mess asking real quick, how many tight ends do we need? I don't think we need more than one, but I think if they can upgrade from Yeboah or Kuntz, I mean, they're probably going to let them go. But here's the thing. Ty Conklin's only got 1 year left on his deal. Okay? And I know he like Jeremy Ruckert. You know, we're Ruckert fans. We like Ruckert, but he still hasn't proved a whole heck of a lot. All right, so you like what he can potentially bring, but you might want to bring somebody else in. And again, I'm not advocating going after a tight end, but I think it's something that the Jets could do. Wow, Rusty getting really bold here. All right, we'll get to that in a little bit. All right. But another thing with McLaughlin, with that catch radius, he has the ability to go get the football outside of his frame, and he's very good at high pointing the football. Very good body control, uses that catch radius in different depths to get the ball. Now with his blocking, he needs to be more consistent with the run blocking. His arms are a little bit short, and he's not the fastest tight end that you're going to see. So that is a bit of an issue, and those short arms do give him issues with his blocking. He's not going to move guys backwards. He's not going to pancake anybody. What he has to do is use his feet and hips to shift defenders away from the play. That's what McLaughlin does very well. I think he's going to go in the 5th round. So this, again, is one of those players that you could develop. And if that's somebody that the Jets like, McLaughlin, again, I've seen him mocked to the Jets a few times. So I wanted to look at him a little bit more. I think it's an intriguing prospect. I can't say that I love his ability, but there is some upside there. Okay, now we're going to go on to Dallin Holker from Colorado State University. He is 6'3", 241 pounds. This is a pass-catching tight end who exploded on the scene with Colorado State, team captain. You know they like that. He had 3 years of what we'll call pedestrian production at BYU. Went to Colorado State, really turned it on. He has very good focus, very good ball skills to make contested catches. He could run the first and second level routes that most teams are going to need. Very strong hands. I've seen him make some one-handed catches, so he can make some highlight reels for you if you like. Now, what you don't like as much, the play speed. His play speed is what I would call average, so he has to get more confident, more instinctual, is what I would say. He's got to run his routes with better focus on maintaining his play speed. Not super dynamic after the catch. For him, it's about getting in position, making the catch. He's usually not going to go with it. And he's got to get a little bit more aggressive with his blocking. And again, with Holker, not too different than McLaughlin. I see him going in the 5th round. All right, so now I need to spend a minute on this guy. He's been mentioned in the chat. Well, I got it ready for you. You're going to see a whole lot of yellow coming on the screen, so get your eyes ready, everybody. Don't say I didn't warn you. It's Eric All from Iowa. Yep, we had a few people mention him, and yes, I've got him here. Rusty Spooner, He is never one to shy away from controversy. He says he is a better tight end than Brock Bowers. You're lucky I'm not Jake Asman, or your ass would be in the shadow realm, my friend. but you've been right about a lot of things before, so I definitely appreciate your perspective, man. Next year, he wants to get, Luke Lachey from Iowa. Iowa does produce some great tight ends. There's no doubt about it. All right, but Eric All, 6'4", 252 pounds. He has not really played with very good quarterback production. Jets mess, I know, but it's a 7th-round pick. Because how much do you expect from a 7th-round pick? Believe me, I'm a Kuntz fan. Pretty much all of us in the Virginia Jets fans are Kuntz fans because he played at Old Dominion. We want to see this kid become, a big-time player, but he had to learn how to play football. Okay, so I'll give any 7th-round pick a year to learn how to play the game on the practice squad, figuring stuff out. He got a few snaps in at the end of the season, got a few plays in. So, hey, maybe he can fight Yeboah for that 3rd tight end spot this year. I think he could do it, but again, that's one of those things we're going to have to watch as training camp goes on. There's always a few players who rise up, and I really, really hope that Zach is one of them. ODU Kuntz! There you go, Johnny. But back to Eric All. Great route runner. Very good blend of elusiveness and toughness after the catch. Okay? Very hard to bring down. And he's got good speed. He's got this very good foot agility. He can snap off these very short area routes. He's got some quickness, and he can get open in the short part of the field. Okay? Now, here are the issues. Blocking techniques. He has to work on his hand placement and sustaining that hand placement. That's really, really important. All right, so I don't love the blocking. But the other thing, and Rusty alluded to it, season-ending injuries. He has played 10 games total in 2 years. 2 consecutive season-ending injuries, a torn ACL, and a back injury. If you bring in All to me, you're bringing him in as a project. To me, I think he's going to go maybe in the 6th round. And I think the injuries are basically costing him maybe 2 rounds here. That's how concerned I am. Injuries are one thing, but when it's to your knees and your back, that is pretty scary. All right, so Eric All, I think, is worth looking at. I can't say I'm overly excited about it. I mean, you can see his frame. He's certainly very tall, has the size, a little bit thin. As well, but yeah, when you have knee and back injuries and they cost you your season, that's a little bit scary. But if he gets to the 6th round, yeah, I'd take a shot at him. All right. Now let's go over to the defense. We're going to talk about edge rushers here. And I've got a few here that I want to talk about. I've got, I think like 3 or 4 that we're going to talk about. Yeah, 4 of them. The first one I want to talk about is one of those Utes. So we don't have 2 Utes. We got 1 Ute. And our Ute tonight is Jonah Ellis from the University of Utah, 6'2", 246 pounds, son of Luther Ellis, a former NFL player. Ellis this year had 23 solo tackles. He had 12 sacks. Very, very good production. Now, Ellis plays with a very high motor, and he's going to expose blockers who aren't finishers. You might slow him down at first, but if you don't fight all the way to the whistle, eventually Ellis has a tendency to get loose and generate pressure. He's got a whole variety of pass rush moves, whether it's a spin move, whether it's an inside counter, very good bendability, great spin ability. The concerns I have with him, his hands are not very heavy. They're not overly violent, all right, to eliminate a punch from an offensive lineman. And he doesn't really have the mass in his legs to really anchor and hold the edge in the run game. Okay, this is a player who is really a pass rusher for the most part. All right, he's got to put on some size if he's going to become a 3-down lineman. But the pass rush capability is really, really impressive. I think he's going to go in the 3rd round. So I've got a 3rd round projection on Jonah Ellis from the University of Utah. Alon, a big Luke Lachey fan as well, complete tight end. Well, hey, next year when the Jets have all their picks, it might make sense to go after a tight end, especially if Ty Conklin's contract does not get restructured. But yeah, that's going to be a position that there's a lot of questions, but they're good questions. You know, Ruckert has some capability. What is Aaron Rodgers going to do with him? Is Kenny Yeboah only a special teamer? What will Zach Kuntz do? He is the wild card. What can he do too? It's going to be really, really interesting. Okay, so Jonah Ellis is one. Now I want to talk about Adisa Isaac from Penn State University, 6'4", 247 pounds. If we've got anybody here in the chat tonight from Brooklyn, well, Adisa Isaac is a Brooklyn native as well. Now, Jeff Ulbrich coached Isaac in the Senior Bowl, so Ulbrich got a chance to know this kid a little bit. And he's got some high praise from his peers. How's this for reference? Talise Fuaga, who a lot of people projected to the Jets, said that the toughest defender he had to face at the Senior Bowl was Adisa Isaac. And he had to face some of the best in the college game. Fuaga gave Isaac glowing reviews. That gets some attention for me. This is a team captain as well. And Isaac is very good at defeating offensive linemen with a quick burst and finesse. He does have the strength enough to rip and force his way to the quarterback. But he's very, very decisive. He's a very smart player, good pre-snap awareness of the formation and what the play can be. Very, very smart. This is the type of player you can see becoming a captain one day. All right, got a very quick hand strike, allows him to separate from a lineman, chase the play, plays through the whistle, very, very good motor, lasts throughout the whole play, and he could play in just about any stance. 3-point stance, stand up, he could do that, and he really showed that at the Senior Bowl. Now, where he needs to get better now, he's got to get bigger and stronger in his lower body. His overall strength has to improve, and the thing is, his rush loses a little bit of momentum when he rushes inside. He's really at his best when he's going around the edge. So you want him to be a little bit more of a one-trick pony. Now, at the moment, as far as the projection goes, I've seen anywhere from the middle of the third round on to the fifth round. You know, a lot of different prognosticators have different projections, as I use as many big pro words as I can in one sentence there, on what they're going to do with Isaac, how they think about him. I think that somebody's going to take a chance on him. I would say early day 3. I don't know if it's going to be the Jets, but I would say early day 4. I could see that being a draft pick. So Adisa Isaac from Penn State. Now let's go on to another pass rusher. We've got Javon Solomon from Troy University. Troy's produced a couple of good edge rushers in the past, mostly played in the NFC East. So Mr. Solomon, the Solomon Monster, 6 foot even, 246 pounds, has very good bend, uses his hands super, super well, chiseled frame, very powerful hips. He's got a good, strong lower base to work off of. So it is very hard to sustain blocks against Solomon because he's got that low center of gravity, and that's why he tends to finish around the football when the whistle blows. He could also change his pass direction pretty well, and he's quick enough to win with inside moves. So he can, look like he's going outside, but counter his way inside and get the pass rush on. He doesn't have the ideal size you would want at 6 foot even, 246 pounds. You wonder if that's enough for him to really last in the NFL long term, especially as a 3-down lineman. And he does have some trouble separating from long arm tackles who can kind of lock him up. Okay, so Solomon, I think this is going to be a late 4th, 5th round draft pick. All right, so Javon Solomon. All right, now the other edge rusher we're going to talk about is somebody we've taken in the mock drafts a couple of times before, and I wanted to spend a minute and talk about him. I wanted to get to know his game a little bit more. It's Muhammad Kamara. This is our second Colorado State player on the list tonight. So Mr. Kamara, 6'1", 248 pounds, another team captain. A lot of these linebackers are in the 240-pound range, aren't they? But Kamara, amazing, amazing production. Over his college career, 45 and a half tackles for a loss. Not tackles for a loss, with 30 and a half sacks and 5 forced fumbles. Now, you might tell me the competition was against the Mountain West, and, technically Kamara did play 5 years with the Rams, but if we look at just the last 3 seasons, if you look at the sacks, he has outproduced Dallas Turner, Chop Robinson, practically any other edge rusher you could throw at me in this class. Kamara has been really, really good. Great bend, very violent hands. I think he had 71 pressures, by the way, this year. That was second in college football. Second in college football with 71 pressures. Had a 19.6 pass rush win rate. That was in the top 20. All right, very smart guy, dedicated to his craft. He knows how to create leverage, and he has good base strength to squeeze right through double teams. Okay, so Muhammad Kamara, great strength. Basically intelligence plus strength equals success. And I think Kamara is going to be a very valuable draft pick for whoever does take him. The issue is he can be a little bit too power focused. He becomes a little bit too reliant on just the bull rush. That's not always going to work in the NFL. And sometimes he can play a little bit too hard charging, and that means over pursuing, which could lead to missed tackles. Wasn't too big of an issue in college, but it could be in the NFL. So his college game, excellent. But he's going to have to refine some things in order to really succeed as a pro. So I think he's going to go in the 4th round. I think he's another early day 3 pick. But I really like what I saw from Muhammad Kamara. So that's another edge rusher worth looking at. All right, let's stay with the defense, guys. We're going to go to another position, another sleeper position, and it is the linebacker position. So the Jets, they have C.J. Mosley. They have Quincy Williams. After that, not a whole lot. You have Jamien Sherwood, but he barely played this year. He played a few snaps, but he was playing mostly special teams. And behind that, you have Zaire Barnes, who they drafted last year. I don't know if the Jets would draft another developmental linebacker, but if they're not sold on Barnes, then it might be something that they're really looking at. And again, I wonder how much they really think of Jamien Sherwood. All right, so let's talk about a couple of later picks the Jets might look at. Number 1 is Tommy Eichenberg from The Ohio State University. 6'2", 233 pounds. He's got that fierce linebacker mentality. Super, super aggressive. In 2022, posted 120 tackles, including 77 solo. And he plays with reckless abandon. He is willing to throw his body into blockers to create a lot of traffic. Okay, now he's got the background to handle special teams duties. And we talked about this before. Special teams and return coverage are going to become a bigger and bigger part of the game. Eichenberg can definitely help you in that department. Now, as far as when he's playing linebacker, Eichenberg is more of a straight line mover. He doesn't really have the bend, the speed, the lateral quickness for open field tackling and coverage. All right, but he's got straight line ability, very aggressive at the point of attack. And that is what I really like the most about him. But also, getting loose from blocks is a problem. He tends to get a little bit caught up rather than just separate playing around them. So to me, Eichenberg is a good player, but he's more of a scheme-specific player, and he can be a very good special teams player for you. Okay? Very smart player, very aggressive. We'll see how this translates into the NFL. I think he's going to go 4th round, but I don't think he would be a slam dunk for just any team. Hey, Billy SBC, good to see you. Yeah, hey, I know we've got some good tight ends. I agree with you. I'm just going with what the Jets might do because, again, they were looking at Michael Mayer last year. They were really considering it. So if they would consider Mayer in the 1st round last year, why wouldn't they consider a tight end in the middle rounds? That's all I'm saying. And again, unless they do something with Conklin, he's a free agent after this year. So we don't know about that. Ruckert is an unknown. Kuntz is an unknown. And Yeboah, as of right now, he's a special teams player for the most part. So now I believe Aaron Rodgers has the ability to elevate their level of play. But we know the Jets are going to take whichever players they think are best. And if that means they put 4 tight ends on the roster, believe me, they will do it. They will do it. But yeah, hey, I'm glad you had a chance to stop by. So Tommy Eichenberg is one. Another player I wanted to look at was Tyrese Knight from the University of Texas at El Paso, formerly West Texas State University. And if you're a pro wrestling fan, some of the best wrestlers of all time played football at UTEP. Tito Santana, Ted DiBiase, Tully Blanchard was the quarterback, Manny Fernandez, all kinds of guys played at the school now known as UTEP. All right, so he is 6'1", 233 pounds, a little bit of an older player. He's 24 years old. He's been starting for 3 years, very, very durable, never missed a game. He could come in and provide some leadership for you very, very quickly. Oh, by the way, I'll get to that in a moment. But he has shown great production. He averages 100 tackles every year. Last year, Tyrese Knight had 140 tackles. Crazy production, plus 4.5 sacks, 15 and a half tackles for a loss, same number as Dallas Turner. He's very good in the open field as well. He knows how to take very, very good angles. Now, his speed is not the best. It's really about his intelligence and diagnosing the play ahead of time. His 40 time, if that's what you're looking at, is not great. He ran a 4.63 40-yard dash. He'll need to improve his blocking scheme recognition, zone blocking, man-to-man blocking. All right, so all of that is going to matter. All right, so I think Knight goes 5th round, maybe early 6th round. By the way, when Knight goes to a singles bar, if you look at the picture, he's like, hey, I'd like to take you out for a few drinks, but I'm a minor. Yeah. Did anyone enjoy that one? I guess not. Okay. All right. I had to throw one horrible joke in there. All right. Jordan McGee from Temple. That is the next player that we're going to take a look at. All right. So we got a Temple Owl, 6'1", 228 pounds. Now, McGee, this was one of those players that I had a little bit of trouble getting a good feel for because I saw certain positives, but some of the negatives just were like, I don't know. So here's what I like. Strong and smart, plays with good strength, good aggression. He's able to bounce off bigger bodies to find his way to get to the football. He's very active. He's very aggressive, very high football character, very good on-field intelligence, very good in run defense. He's better as a run defender than a pass coverage linebacker. Side-to-side line range is decent, ran a 4.55 40. That's decent. The issues I have with him, he's not patient, okay? He explodes into gaps. He doesn't allow the play to develop sometimes, and as a result, he sometimes takes himself out of the play. So he has to prove also that he can handle man coverage, but he's got to show he can play with better discipline to become more than a good backup with special teams value. Because right now, that's what I see from Jordan McGee. I see him as a sixth round pick, like a slightly lesser version of Eichenberg is what I'm seeing. Rusty Spooner, Peyton Wilson from NC State, go Pack, is ridiculously good, but I hope if we go linebacker, we get Trevin Wallace from Kentucky. Yeah, Wallace I think would go day 2. I mean, Peyton Wilson should be the first linebacker to go. I don't think there's any way the Jets would draft him. I don't think they're going to be in a position to draft him. But yeah, if Trevin White were to make it there, then that would be a prospect worth looking at for sure. You know, even though as a Jets fan, we got some bad memories of Kentucky draft picks. See Dwayne Robertson. All right, so Jordan McGee, I've got one more linebacker to look at, and I like this guy, J.D. Bertrand from the University of Notre Dame, 6'1", 235, multi-year captain. When you're a multi-year captain at Notre Dame, you got to have some leadership. You got to earn the respect of your teammates because, half the roster at Notre Dame could probably be team captain. Okay, great football smarts, excellent versus the run, very good special teams ability. Now, the thing with Bertrand is diagnosing him is actually quite simple. He is not quick. He doesn't have short area burst, short area quickness. He's not going to shed blocks very well, but he's smart and he can build up some acceleration and play against the run very, very well. As of right now, again, with like a lot of these guys, I see a very good special teams player, but more of a one-dimensional linebacker who could eventually grow. But with Bertrand, you have great character. You have a great work ethic as well. I think Bertrand goes 6th round. I think he goes a little bit later. He is a little bit smaller. I think that's going to be a bit of an issue for him. And again, I don't know at this point how much more explosive you can get because, at 21, 22 years old. So I like Bertrand, but I would not go after him until maybe the 6th round. Now, this other position, we're going to spend a little more time on it. I got a few extra players here. We're going to talk cornerbacks, and I've got quite a few that I want to talk about here. All right, so this is where we're going to spend the bulk of our time because remember, Jets have quite a few cornerbacks coming up after this season. We know they have Sauce, but Bryce Hall is gone. DJ Reed has a year left. Michael Carter II, I believe, has a year left. Brandon Eccles has a year left as well. You have Jerick Bernard Converse, but we don't really know what position he's going to play, let alone how productive he's going to be. So it might be a situation where the Jets are looking at a cornerback to develop. So I got a few players here I want to look at. Now, I went a little bit higher with this first player because I happen to really, really like him. Okay, and it's Renardo Green from the Florida State Seminoles. 6 foot even, 186 pounds, an excellent, excellent press cornerback. He's got great, great body control. He can handle double moves. He can handle route breaks super well. He's a very physical cornerback, but he's not handsy. He doesn't get called for a lot of penalties. He allowed just a 25% completion rate this year. Really, really good. That's 17th out of several hundred eligible quarterbacks. So top 20 out of about, I think, almost 500 cornerbacks. Played very well against LSU, and we know LSU's got a couple of very good receivers named Neighbors and Thomas. And Green more than held his own. There's not much to teach him. He is a very seasoned prospect. Where he might need some help, he might be a little more penalty prone in the pros with that physical style. He didn't get called in college for it, but he could in the pros. And the thing is handling vertical routes. He's got to prove he can carry a vertical receiver deep. Might need some safety help over the top, but he traces routes very well. In the first 2 levels, he'll do very well at restricting catches. I think that Green has a very good chance to become an above-average starter outside, and maybe he could even play the slot for you as well. I think Green goes in the 3rd round. Maybe mid to late 3rd round, worst case early 4th round. And if the Jets could get him in the 4th round, I would be very, very pleased if they took him. Okay, so remember, it's not always about what you need this year. Sometimes you got to look down the road. So if they were to use a mid-round pick on a cornerback, on the right cornerback, I'd be interested. And I think Renardo Green would be a very good player to target. Number 2, I like this guy too. Elijah Jones from Boston College. 6'1", 185 pounds. Excellent length, great frame, very smart, very good ball skills. He has the ability to really harass and overtake wide receivers when it's time to make the catch. He's got good long arms, about 32 or so inches. Elite speed. Excellent, excellent speed. I think top 5% of all cornerbacks in this draft. And he knows how to track the ball down the field. He traces routes well. He will attack throws to force incompletions and interceptions. Very, very good in that sense. He does have a slender frame, though, especially in the lower body at 6'1", 185. He might need to add a little bit of bulk there. And he's not that great against the run. Okay, so he is very good at pass coverage, but he might need to add a little bit of size to become more of a versatile cornerback. But I think Jones goes in the 4th round. I think that would be a very worthwhile pick as well. All right. Now, this next player I've seen on a few sleeper lists. He's from Washington State, and it is Chow Smith-Wade. A lot of red teams early on this list. So Chow Smith-Wade, a little bit smaller. He's 5'11", 176 pounds. This year he had 23 solo tackles, 6 passes defended. Now, Smith-Wade started seeing regular playing time back in 2021, and he's never had a coverage grade below 76, and he's never allowed more than 1 touchdown in any season. All right, he does not allow big plays. He was on his way to his best season in 2023, but a shoulder injury forced him out for the last 5 games. But in that time, he recorded 7 pass breakups in 7 games. He was approaching career highs in both tackles and run stops. So he was definitely elevating. The trajectory was heading up for CS Dub. I don't know if they call him that, but I just did. And the thing with Chow Smith-Wade, I like this with a cornerback. When he started his career, he was a wide receiver. So he knows how a wide receiver thinks, how they move, how they act. Sometimes he knows what the receiver is going to do before the receiver knows what they're going to do. So he can recognize routes well, can play zone, he can play man, and he's got that basketball athleticism and a really good closing burst. So you have a very good athlete here. He can support the run game when he needs to. Now, he is on the small side at 5'11", 176. All right, that's not ideal. And the other thing is the missed tackles. In 2022, all right, he missed 11.8% of his tackles. Not too bad. Not great, but could be better. This past year, it doubled almost. He missed 21% of his tackles this past year. So his tackling needs a lot of work. And I think a lot of it is because he's diving for ankles too much. With his size and speed, he doesn't have the confidence. Maybe he could wrap somebody up and take them down. So he's going for the dive. So he would need more size. Maybe he'd only be maybe a slot corner. But you do have a very capable athlete in Chow Smith-Wade. I think maybe a 5th round. Yeah, if you have the 5 there, the tendency is to think that they're probably a little bit too small. I understand. I hear you, miss. Willie Drew from Virginia State. Oh, that's where who's Trenton Cannon went. Yeah, Virginia State's just an hour up the road from me in Richmond. Yeah, they got Virginia State and they got Virginia Commonwealth. They actually have both. And Virginia Union is there as well, where Charles Oakley played basketball. So they got Virginia State, Virginia Commonwealth, and Virginia Union. And hey, that's where Joe Douglas played college, right in Richmond, where Mekhi Becton was from. So that whole Richmond area. Willie Drew. I didn't see his name come through, but I will definitely check him out. Willie Drew. I'm going to have to write that name down. Thanks for that, Russ. Thanks. All right, let's go on to our next cornerback. This is DeCameron Richardson from Mississippi State. This one's a little bit bigger. Oh, too soon? Was it too soon? Really? Too soon? 6'2", 188 pounds, amazing tackler. The 3rd lowest missed tackle rate of all cornerbacks. So you got a physical cornerback here. Flies downhill, loves contact. He thrives on it. Defends the run very well. Great speed. He runs a 4.34 40-yard dash. Very, very good coverage and could change direction well. Very smooth, fluid in the hips, could change direction really, really well. And that's something you really like, whether it's a cornerback, a safety, a wide receiver. You want smooth, loose hips. Very, very good. Now, the thing with Richardson, he doesn't play the ball very well. I've given you some really good positives. So what are the negatives? And why do I have him kind of lower on the list? In his career, he has no interceptions and 3 pass breakups. He doesn't play the ball very well. He has to learn to do that. He doesn't play with enough anticipation to make plays on the ball, and he doesn't have great short area bursts. Now, he's got these really long legs, so he's got these really big strides, okay? So it takes him a minute to really get going full speed, but he has good makeup ability to run in a straight line. You just don't have that initial burst from Richardson. So this is a very, very unique set of skills that he brings to the table with tackling, with long speed but not quickness, fluidity but not a whole lot of, but really doesn't have interceptions. So Richardson to me is really one of those wild cards that could work out very well or it could really not work out at all. That's a tricky one, is DeCameron Richardson. I think 5th round for him. All right, this next one is one of my favorite stories in the draft. If you don't know about this guy, I really want to tell you about him. It is Quantez Stiggers. Now, you'll notice the team name I've got there, Toronto. No, he didn't go to the Toronto University. He was most recently playing for the Toronto Argonauts, and I can tell you that is not a Tennessee Titans jersey. So Stiggers is 6 foot even, 203 pounds, 22 years old. Now, he was going to go to, I believe it's called Lane University in Tennessee, HBCU, but his dad tragically passed away in a car accident. So he didn't go to college. He was going to work. He played in sort of a semi-pro league for a while and eventually got his way over to the CFL. He wasn't eligible to be drafted because of his age. And with Toronto, he won Rookie of the Year this past year, had 5 interceptions, tied for 2nd in the CFL, and named to the All-Star team. So he is now 4 years removed from high school. Toronto will let him out of his contract if an NFL team drafts him. So this is a player that you got to draft. You're not going to get him really as a UDFA, or the Argonauts may not let him go. All right, but then he went to the Shrine Bowl, and he was great. He was one of maybe the 3 or 4 biggest risers at the Shrine Bowl, along with guys like Garrett Greenfield, the offensive tackle, for instance. He was on that kind of a level of guys whose stock was really rising. Quantez Stiggers is one of those players. He's got good burst, good closing speed, great ability to high point the pass, to make an interception, to cause a disruption, has good enough speed to keep up with receivers outside, and he's smart enough. He's got good football IQ to know how to use the sideline to his advantage. You got a very good player here. And teams like him too. Teams like him. He had his pro day in Atlanta. 29 teams watched him test. So he is getting some intrigue. It'll be fascinating to see where he goes. Of course, you have the questions. The fact he's never played college ball. Run defense is not really known. He didn't really have to do that as much in Toronto. But it's going to be a heck of a story. And he's the kind of player, even if he's not on your team, you kind of want to see do well for the human side of it. All right, so Quantes Stiggers, I think he goes maybe mid to late 6th round, but let's see what winds up happening with him. Now, this next one is a player. I think we got 2 more here, guys. So yeah, we're thanks for hanging with me so far. We got the trivia coming up in a little bit for you. Let's talk about Dwight McLeathern from Arkansas. Now, I know there's a few people who have liked him in the past, have wanted him in the mock drafts. Quick hello to GVH. Likes the Stigger story. I'm glad you're here, my friend. Yeah, that's a guy you just want to see do well. Just is. I mean, how many guys do we see come from the not play? I think there's only been 4 players who did not play college that were drafted in history. So yeah, McLovin. That's exactly right, Mess. Yeah, McLovin. Yeah, that guy. 6'2", 185 pounds. This is a ball hawking quarterback. He's got the eyes, the instincts, and the ball skills to really flip the field. He likes to take chances. He likes to be very, very aggressive, high risk, high reward kind of cornerback. He's going to be at his best in zone coverage because what he wants to do, he wants to read the eyes of the quarterback, scan the field, and sort of play chess with the route combination and the quarterback. Translation, Zach Wilson's worst nightmare. Because McLeathern would have a field day with him. He'd be reading his eyes and creating that interception opportunity. All right? But if the quarterback knows what McLeathern's doing, McLeathern really isn't at his best. I see a cover 3 cornerback here. I don't know if that's what the Jets would go for, but this is what I see with him. Now, what he's lacking, the footwork is not great for press coverage. He needs better footwork. His athleticism not high. His RAS score was 6.4, and he's very passive at the run defense. I think he's going to go late 6th, early 7th round. All right, so I like that he is a very aggressive player. The highlight films will look really good, but it's one of those players. If you're just watching the highlights, you're going to get a little bit misled, a little bit too misled. The highs are highs, but the lows are low with Dwight McLeathern from Arkansas. Oh, and I had one more. Oh, I think maybe we have. All right, well, I'm going to X this out. My last slide didn't go through, but I'm just going to tell you this one other player, Kamal Haddon from the University of Tennessee. 6'1", 196 pounds. This is a very good man-to-man cover corner. He's got the arm length to annoy receivers. He can read routes from zone. He can play either scheme that you would want him to do. He can track and adjust to the deep ball very, very well. On the negative side, got some tightness in the hips, and he can be a little bit too content to hold or interfere when the panic sets in. When he feels like he's been beat, he often will get called for pass interference. And the effort can be a little spotty as a run defender and a tackler. Only played 7 games last year, so some good highs, but some very notable lows. I think 7th round for Kamal Haddon. All right, guys, that is it tonight for the sleepers for our draft projections. And we have got, what is it now? 2 more shows, I believe, until the draft. So yeah, we'll have some more stuff. We'll do a few more things over the next 2 weeks. We're going to rank the positions from worst in the draft to best in the draft. So hey, thanks, GVH. I appreciate that. You know what? I haven't seen them on other sites either, and that's why I mentioned them. Yeah, everybody's talking about Isaac Garendo at this point, right? A lot of people talking about Christian Boyd and Mason McCormick and Garrett Greenfield, but yeah. And that's kind of the fun thing, because the more of these we do, when we do these mock drafts, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, I know who that dude is. We got a feel for him. So yeah, so I kind of like doing it. I'm not a college football watcher, not until the very end of the season. I readily admit that. My whole point of it is to just see who would be good in the pros, and that's what I'm trying to figure out and get better at. Dom C, I am not, but I'm more like Dom D, something like that. I don't know. All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what. It is 11:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the United States of America. So it is that time every week. You know what I do. Some point during the week, I bust open the books, I pull up the internet websites, and I do my research, to test you, the most loyal New York Jets fans out there, about the team that we all know and love. So, if you're ready, let's play Jets Trivia. All right, so Jets Mess says it's wheel time. We'll have a little bit of fun with that in a little bit. Yeah, we're going to let's see how we're doing on the likes, guys. If you haven't yet, thumbs up is always very much appreciated. At 14 likes, all right, we need a little bit more. I think we need one more like, and we'll go ahead and we'll spin the wheel. So we'll do that after trivia. All right. Yep. Hank G's here. Trivia time. He's ready. And you know what we do this time of year? We do some Jets draft related trivia. So we're going to go a little bit of a different direction here tonight. We're going to go back in time. Not too many years. We're just going to go back 16 years to the year 2008. So that was the year of Brett Favre. The last year of Eric Mangini, one of the most biggest upside and most disappointing finishes to a season we've had as Jets fans, and that is saying a lot. All right, here is your question for tonight. And remember, you have 5 minutes, no Googling, of course, and throw your answers down there in the chat. All right. The question tonight goes like this. Name the 3 Jets from 2008 who were drafted by the Arizona Cardinals. All right, so 3 Jets from 2008 were drafted by Arizona and eventually found their way over to the 2008 New York Jets. Who were they? And I can tell you it is not Lee Cravat. I would say realistically, 2 of these you should get. One of them is going to be a little bit harder. All right. Yeah, this has been a fun night. I'll double check let's double check the likes real quick. All right, we have crossed the threshold. So yeah, we're gonna spin the wheel. I think we'll do we'll do what we did last week. We'll do the mock, and then we will do the regular mock, and then we will do the crazy mock with the wheel. All right. Okay, Papa Yeti says Ray Mickens. Is it Ray Mickens in 2008? Is that correct? Afraid not. No, Mickens was not there. Calvin Pace. All right, GVH says Calvin Pace. Is that answer correct? Yes, it is. Calvin Pace was drafted in 2003 by the Arizona Cardinals and worked his way over to the New York Jets. Nathan Colgrove says Mike DeVito. Sorry, Nathan. No, Mike DeVito was not even drafted out of the University of Maine. Papa Yeti, when in doubt, will always guess Marcus Coleman. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Not Marcus Coleman. Oh, I might be running out of paper here, guys. Let's see. I'll work with what I have. There we go. GVH. GVH like Pace. Yep, there we go. Jets misses. Let me go there. Jets misses Bubba Franks. That's a good guess, but no, he was a Packer with Aaron Rodgers with Favre at first. So it is not Bubba Franks. All right, we are halfway done. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Rusty Spooner. I know it was a quarterback or a safety, but I can't remember who. Rusty, you are on the right track, my man. You are on the right track. Guys, I'm not going to play them. I can't play the music anymore. I know David D is usually here and he mentions it, but I can't. I got another copyright. I can't do it anymore. Because, trying to get a little something back for doing this, but unfortunately, I can't do it. I can't get any more violations for this crap. Papa Yeti, did they play a season with Arizona? Oh, yeah. Yeah, these guys play with Arizona. They started with Arizona and eventually found their way over with the Jets. But yeah, all three players started their careers in Phoenix, Tempe, Glendale, wherever they were playing at the time. All right, guys, we got 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. So I'll tell you that one offensive player and one defensive player. The offensive player you will know. The defensive player you may not know. Or you might have him like you haven't thought of him in a long time. I can assure you this, he is not on the wheel. The great Jets mess guesses Thomas Jones. Is it Thomas Jones? No, it's Thomas Jones. Drafted in the year 2000. Yes, Thomas Jones drafted in the year 2000 by Arizona. Rusty Spooner says Eric Smith. No, it was not Eric Smith. All right, guys, you got the two easier ones. Now you got the tough one left. We got the great proud New York Jets fan. What's up, Nick? Calvin Pace. Yep, that's right. He was already guessed. So, yep, Calvin Pace is correct. All right, let's see. Oh, let me 1 second here. Give you guys a minute. Just needed to send something out real quick. Oh. All right, guys, we got, we'll give you about 30 seconds. Johnny, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. All right. All right. All right. I will say this. The guy. So, Nick knows the third. Okay. Well, if you do, that'd be pretty good. You could say you know the third. There's a lot. Yeah. Kareem always said they knew the third. Papa Yeti says Arizona got Adrian Morrell after us, right? Yeah. Yeah. Adrian Morrell was a Jet. Rusty, you were on the right track by saying it was a cornerback or safety. So yeah, you're on the right track there. Give you guys like 1 more minute. I did send the link out to I did send an invite over to somebody. Don't know if he's available, but if he is, then maybe you could come on and give us the answer. I don't know. I think maybe he has an idea. As a matter of fact, there is a man who says that he knows the right answer. So we're going to give him that opportunity right now. So everybody, let's welcome to the big stage, the one, the only, Nick Shine! As I take him off screen. How you doing, my man?
I'll give everyone a hint. Cornerback, number 36, I believe.
Yep, you got it.
What's up, everyone? Sorry, we went a few minutes late tonight.
That's fine. Yeah. Has it been a good day? How have you been today?
Oh, pollen kicked the shit out of me. I took a nap before, man. Pollen was so bad.
I have never noticed so much pollen.
And I felt like my lungs turned into bowling balls. Like it was bad. What's up, everyone?
I feel like the next time I get a car, it's going to be a pollen-colored car, so I never know the difference.
Yeah, it's a rough time.
It's crazy. Yeah, it gets crazy down here.
So if nobody knows it, I'll say it if no one else knows it.
Yeah, I don't know if the chat's going to get this one tonight. So Nick, I'll let you finish.
Defensive back number 36, David Barrett, was also drafted by Arizona.
That is correct. Thomas Jones and David Barrett were both drafted in the year 2000. And Calvin Pace was drafted in 2003. So that does it for the trivia tonight, guys. Thanks, everybody, for playing along. All right, so let's
GBH. Kerry Rhodes went to Arizona. We traded him?
Kerry Rhodes?
We traded him, or did he sign free agent? But he went free agent with Arizona. He wasn't drafted by them.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, we drafted Kerry Rhodes, no doubt about it. Yeah, yep. Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 mock drafts tonight. We're going to do one the regular way, and then we're going to have the wheel mock draft.
Nice.
So we're going to get a little bit crazy right now. Yeah, Dane's right. Hey, Dano, good to see you. Yeah, Rex hated him. He ripped him in his book. Called him a selfish-ass player. His words, not mine.
I met Rex when he signed his book, when he had his book signing here in New Jersey.
Nice.
I went, and I'm not one of those people who wait like in the buffet line, and like when you tiptoe forward for hours. So there was a restaurant in the parking lot where the bookstore was, up in like East Bumblefuck, New Jersey, like somewhere in.
I spent a lot of time there. Yeah, East Bumblefuck. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're waiting, and I watch, and then when you get in the store, it went up and down the aisles. So I went in, I took a look. I was like, screw this. I'm not waiting in line. I'm like, let's go sit, eat, drink. We went, we sat down. I go in. I'm the last one in line. I come up. Rex looks at me, and he goes, holy crap. He goes, you can play defensive line for me. I'm like, I'll do it right now. I'm like, let's go. I'm like, you got drills you want to put me through? And I'm sitting there, and I'm talking to him, and it was like he engaged with me. Like he was just signing the book for other people's, but we engaged. And I gave my girl the phone, and when we're done, I was like, oh, did you get a picture? Did you get video? She goes, oh, no. She's like, I was so mesmerized that you two were talking. I didn't get anything. I was like, son of a bitch.
Convenient story, Nick. Convenient story.
Yeah. Let me, if we're going to start a mock, let me just take care of something real quick.
Was it at Bookends in Ridgewood? Okay, he's stepping out from it. That's where all the big book signings are, is at Ridgewood, at Bookends in Ridgewood, New Jersey. Jets mess. Are you talking about? Were you thinking about Thomas Jones or another running back? Was there another running back? I mean, Jones, I wouldn't consider a punisher necessarily. Hey, Scott. Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by. Nick's been everywhere, man. Nick's been everywhere, man. Across the desert span. Another guy. Guys, anybody know who Jets Mess is thinking of here? Another running back the Jets got from the Cardinals besides Thomas Jones? I'm trying to think like the second level running backs they've had. They got like the Lamont Jordans and the Derek Blaylocks of the world. Those types of guys. You know, like Sean Green was our second running back for a while. Maybe a Spanish name. Oh, look at Jets Mess getting ethnic here tonight. Oh. All right. So as soon as Nick gets back, guys, we are going to do a mock draft, and then we're going to do another mock draft with the wheel. Yeah, guys.
My whole
Nick, do you have any idea who Jeff Mess is referring to? What have you got there?
Got to get my Atkins bar for
Gotta
dinner.
get your Atkins bar?
My whole day is screwed up with falling asleep there for a little bit. What?
He's saying, who's the other running back that we got from Arizona that was like a punishing running back that punished linebackers? He said maybe it's a Hispanic surname.
In that year?
I don't know when. I really don't know. Like I'm thinking of like our lower level running backs, like our power running backs. I mean, it's not like it was Chris Ivory. We got him from the Saints. Like I'm wondering what year we're talking about.
Gerald Sewell was drafted.
Right, he was a fullback, yeah.
Chris Ivory. Who was the other one?
Wasn't Connor.
Isaiah Crowell?
What?
Was it Isaiah Crowell?
He came from Cleveland. Remember he like did the fake moon on the Monday night when he scored the touchdown? He came from Cleveland. Caused a lot of controversy. Before Baker led the infamous comeback and all the freaking Bud Light, the piss water opened up. All right. Well, in any event. Dano says that my green matches Nick Faria's Eagles green. Well, it's a Virginia Jets fan shirt. I can assure you it's not an Eagles shirt. But Andre Roberts. Well, I think we got him from Arizona.
Wasn't he a kick returner?
Yeah, that's obviously a little different style. Okay, well, let's move it right along. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I have the PF. Oh, my background is like the Eagles. Oh, okay. I don't know. Yeah, the Watsu K99 that you got right there, it's actually Gotham Green. It's down to the hex color. The hashtag 125740. That's the Gotham Green hashtag. So every time, this is how ridiculous I am. Every do I one of those slides and I put up one of those college prospects, I put up the hex color from their school. So that's how ridiculous it gets. So yeah, when you get the bright yellow, it gets rather blinding. You can't put white on yellow, as we found out. Okay, so I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and get started. So I am gonna make sure that this is ready to go. I'm gonna go over and I gotta pull up the wheel and pull up the mock draft. Jets draft choice. Okay, that one's ready to go. And I say we've gotten some good. We've had some pretty good drafts on this channel. I mean, there hasn't been like a single draft where like, oh my god, did that ever suck? So now that the two of us are here together, I can't make any promises about what's about to happen.
Jonathan Grimes.
All right, so I'm starting it right now. Let's zoom out a little bit. Okay. All right, so I think we're good to go. All right, so now I'm going to click back over. Let's share the screen. And this should do it. All right, I'm just going to give it a second to make sure everything is on the screen the way it needs to be. I believe it is. All right, I think we are good. Okay, so let's go in and see what's happened here in the beginning. There it is. Okay, so the first 9 picks. Let's see what wound up happening. Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jane Daniels. So 3 quarterbacks with the first 3 picks. Nobody's too surprised by that. Then we get Marvin Harrison to the Cardinals, Malik Neighbors to the Chargers. Not too surprising there. Now, this one, number 6, is a little surprising. Olu Fashanu to the Giants, a team that already has Andrew Thomas. I don't think that pick makes a whole lot of sense. Number 1, that he went to the Giants, but 2, that he went before Joe Alt, who promptly went to Tennessee. You know, the second the Giants would have made that pick, the entire Tennessee front office was given high fives. But okay, this is getting a little ridiculous. Brock Bowers going to the Falcons. I'm tempted to do a restart on this. That's a little bit too far-fetched. I could deal with the Giants. I don't know if I could deal with Bowers going into Atlanta.
Why?
Guys, should I redo this one?
Why?
Yeah. All right, let's redo that.
Why? Why'd you restart it?
Because because is Atlanta really going to draft another tight end to go with Kyle Pitts?
I wouldn't label him a tight end, just like you don't label Pitts a tight end. I think with London, Pitts, and Bowers, it would be an interesting passing attack for Kirk Cousins, who knows how to distribute the ball.
They need so much help. Man. If they don't go defense, it's malpractice. And in my mind, they have to go there.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll just go with this one.
Chris Johnson.
Chris
CJ Johnson.
CJ
Mess. Chris Johnson was the running back from Arizona, and amongst other places.
CJ 2K, or as he became with us, CJ 0.5K, because that's about as good as he did. All right, so J.J. McCarthy, the Raiders wanted him, and they traded up to get him all the way up to number 8. That's the big move here. Bears get Dallas Turner. So we have a few options here. We've got Olu Fashanu. We've got Brock Bowers. We've got Talise Fuaga as well. But, of course, there are a few trades available. So let's see what's available. The Miami Dolphins want us to go down 11 picks to 21. They want to give us pick 55 and 2 picks next year. I don't think I could reject that fast enough.
Anybody but Miami? I would be intrigued by that with the 2 this year and the 2 next year.
Yeah.
Especially if things don't go well this year and you need ammunition to trade up for a quarterback next year. Having 2 2s would be nice.
It would.
But I don't think I could help Miami out right now.
No.
Anybody else but Miami? If that was Philly at 22 with that offer, I would be entertained.
It wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be bad. Now, I don't mind going down 4 spots with the Saints, but what I do have an issue with is not getting any additional draft capital in 2024. They want to give us a second next year, which you figured might be about the middle of the second, so that is pretty interesting.
Look at the other offer before we counter.
Yeah, definitely. You know, every time we do this, we seem to get this very same offer from Tampa Bay. 26.
Tampa Bay is the trade-up team on this site.
They
Tampa
are.
Bay. Oh, if you go to your next pick, Tampa Bay will offer you again. Like Tampa Bay is for some reason with this algorithm the trade-up team. I get that often.
Do you remember what team it was? I want to say it was last year. I think it was last year. You remember what team it was that was always trying to trade up, especially when you got to the end of the draft? Do you remember?
It was us with Jermaine Johnson.
No, the end of the draft. That's why I said the end.
I don't.
It was the Rams. The Rams had all these late picks, and they would try to package 3 or 4 picks, like in the 6th or 7th round, to
Yeah,
come up
yeah.
for a 5. It
Do
was
you
it
want
was
to know
nuts.
something funny? I said this to Jeremy last week or 2 weeks ago. I met you around the same time. This is our third mock season together. You know, we've known each other a little over 2 years. This will be the first time we're ever seeing the Rams have a first-round pick since we've all known each other.
It's true.
The Rams haven't had a first-round pick the entire time we've known each other.
Peo Time doesn't know what to do with himself right now. I haven't seen him in a
You win
while.
a Super
I hope
Bowl,
he's doing
dude, it's
well.
worth it. You win the ring. Who cares when you pick?
That's absolutely true.
I'll give up the whole draft, fold the franchise.
Jets wins the ring, I will not complain or curse the team for 5 years. I am making that solemn vow right now.
Yeah.
All right. So
That's,
I feel pretty compelled to consider making a trade here. 26, 57, and a 1. Now let's see real quick what we can do with the New Orleans pick. Because, yeah, like I said, I'm not interested in making a trade if we don't get additional help this year. So if we were to counter that, what if we were to get pick 45 as well? You want me to propose that trade?
yeah, go ahead.
All right. Don't know if it's going to work, but let's try it.
I don't think it will. I'd be surprised.
I'd be surprised, but all right. So they want to give it away next year. All right. So I'm not too interested in that pick.
Try to counter one more thing. Go back to the counter if you don't mind.
All right.
Take away next year's 2, make it this year's 2.
Take away next year's 2, make it this year's 2.
Add that 2 and add 134. Give up one of our 4s to move up.
We have that's right.
134 would be our second 4th rounder.
So basically we'd be going back 4 spots, but moving up. What would that be? 89 spots. Yeah, I can live with that. All right, let's see what happens. I think that's a more than fair trade. Wow. Don't want to take it.
Really?
Yeah, they're driving a hard bargain.
And what? Wow.
Yeah, man, I thought they were actually getting a pretty good deal there.
So what was it? It was 1,100 and 450 is 1,550 for them.
Okay.
And then 1,339 from us.
So it was a better trade for us by what, like 150 some points, 160 points?
By a lot.
Wow. Okay.
Their first is worth 11. Their second is worth 450, so it's 1,550.
Okay.
Our first is worth 1,300, and our second 4 is only worth 39.
That's it. Wow. We might have to give them the first 4 if that's something that we wanted to do.
Or we can give them next year's 3 if we just want to make it happen.
I would like to. I'd rather give them a pick next year, but I don't know.
Sure. Give them next year's 3. Then we get 14 and we get a second rounder.
All right. So let's
see. The interest in moving it, right? Who cares what we do next year? I mean, it's not unrealistic.
I don't think so. I don't think so either. So basically, we'd be giving a 10 and next year's 3 for 14 and 45.
Or still add 134 in, and we just add next year's 3 to make it go through. You know what I mean? Put 134, which they rejected, but
just
then add
the
3.
Get a trade done.
Yeah, add the 3 just to process it.
Okay, just to make it happen. If they won't take this, thank you.
There you go.
All right, very good. Okay, so the trade the player that they wanted it wasn't Fashanu, it was Latu, the edge rusher from UCLA. Then Terrion Arnold, Fuaga, and Brian Thomas. Man, Jefferson and Brian Thomas in Minnesota. If only they had a quarterback to throw them the ball. But that aside, Fashanu, Bowers still on the board. Fatanu as well. Amarius Mims, J.C. Latham, all there. But I believe we have a pretty interesting trade offer coming in as well. There we go. 3 trade offers here. Okay, so the Commandskins want to give us 36, 40, and 67 for 14 and 111. It's a lot of depth, but I don't know if I want to go down 22 spots. I'm not sure I'm feeling that. I'm not feeling it. Atlanta wants to give us 40. Wow, what?
Well, it's the same. 3 picks to go.
Yeah, 43, 44, and 74 versus 36, 40, and
Yeah,
67.
so that's better immediately. Washington's better immediately than this pick.
Yeah, I'm already rejecting this. Eh, Wait a minute. Okay, and Dallas, they want to give us four. Oh, they want us to give 14 and Mr. Irrelevant away. They want us to give away Brock Purdy, our Brock Purdy, for pick 24 and pick 56.
I would do that.
Yeah.
I would do
So,
that. Now we got 2 2s, a 3, and 2 4s
yep.
on
So,
top of the one. I
so if
like
we
that
did
actually.
that, yeah, if we did that, we would lose 14, but we would have 24. Would we have? Wait, was that 46?
45 and 56. We'd have 24,
45, 56.
45, 56, 72, 111, 134.
Oh, that could be fun. Yeah, Rusty Spooner wants it. GVH wants it. Assist, hey, assist, good to see you. Pretty much everybody wants it, which means we're not going to do. I'm just kidding.
And
All right.
here's why it makes sense, right? Like go
Yeah. Go ahead.
close that real quick if you don't mind and go to the players. If
Yes,
we're
sir.
going tackle, like the Thomas went. So the top 4 wide receivers are gone. I know Bowers is there, but you got Fashanu, you got Fatanu, you got Mims, you got Latham, you're gonna have Guyton. To have 5 tackles go in the next 10 picks, I think is very unlikely. And of course, now that I said it, we know it's going to happen. But if you want tackle, I think Fashanu through Latham is tightly grouped together. And I'm
Yep.
okay with getting another second to get any of these guys. So I'm cool with that Dallas offer if the chat is as well. I think, like you said.
Yeah,
Oh,
Fatanu,
Dane, good
Guyton.
call. Good call, Dane.
And
He
even
did go
further
there
down, I
first.
mean, Roger Rosengarten, for instance, is rising up. The kid pitcher from Rookie of the Year, he's up there. So
It's a great name.
yeah, there's still quite a bit of depth. I know.
I'm okay with that.
God
Dallas
knows.
trade. I think
All right. All right. So let's reject the command skins.
you know what?
And we are
Here
going to
you go.
accept.
I got a little gift for you. Go to the trade.
What is that?
Go to the trade.
Trade offer?
Counter it.
Okay.
Give them 256 instead of 257, and you still get to keep Mr. Irrelevant for yourself. There you go. You like that? See what I do for you, bro?
Yeah. You know,
I'm
the
making
media is
up-
really
I'm
going to be
making up
questioning
to
this
you.
move.
I feel that I owe you, because I know you're not a fan of my takes on Cody Rhodes. I feel that I owe you an apology gift. Here's my apology gift to you. You get to have Mr. Irrelevant still.
I don't think I've ever been so moved, Nick, if I may be quite frank with you. I may need a minute.
That's what friends are for.
All right, guys. This is not a
Good
telethon.
drafts
Donations are appreciated.
and bad drafts.
Whoa! No. No. I didn't even have that much of a reaction when the match ended because I knew what was going to happen the whole time. So, in all seriousness. Okay, guys. All right. So we will. Wouldn't it be hysterical if Dallas actually rejected this because we gave him 256 instead of Mr. Irrelevant?
Yeah, right? Like, watch their algorithm throw it off.
All right, they accepted it. Shanu Bowers. Yep, a lot of tackles went for sure. Okay. 3 trade offers. I'm not looking at Tennessee.
Oh, they all went? Of course they all went.
A lot of them went. A lot of them did.
All of them went.
I'm going to click off for a moment. Let's see.
So that site has Graham
Guyton's there.
Barton.
And Tyler Guyton's still available. Sumatea, Morgan, Paul, Rosengarten. So, yeah, there's still some guys there. And then after this, we have pick 45. All right, so I'll take a quick look. I'm not going to look at the Tennessee trade because it's not enough for this year. It's just going down 14 spots. And eventually we have to pick. Atlanta wants to give us 43 and 44. And shockingly, Tampa Bay wants Tampa Bay, go away. Come again another day. Oh, I think I hit reject on both. All right, I think it's time we made a pick anyway. So, all right, so let's look at the big board, guys. Now, I don't think we're looking at an edge rusher with our first pick or a cornerback or a safety. Now, we could address the offensive line. Graham Barton's a tricky. Nick, do you have any? Graham Barton's one of those tricky prospects. I think Dom is quite high on him, but there's a lot of question if he's going to play tackle or if he's going to play guard.
I noticed this site has him marked as a center.
Yeah. Yeah, and that one I have not seen yet. I've never
If I'm
seen
going to
Barton
take a
work.
center here, I'm going to take Jackson Powers Johnson.
I agree. I don't think of Barton as a center at all.
Yeah.
Rusty likes Jordan Morgan. I like Jordan Morgan, but
What
I'd
about
like him with
to the,
like a second round pick. But
if you
he
don't
did.
mind, just scroll up to the best available so I can see the top and we'll work our way down.
There you go. That's all right. There's the top.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got the top chop right here.
Chop,
Chop Robinson, Nate Wiggins, Cooper DeJean, Graham Barton, JPJ, Penix, Tyler Guyton, A.D. Mitchell. All right, now I'll go down a little. Now I'll go down the list. Xavier Worthy, Bo Nix, Keon Coleman, Sua Matea, Morgan, Christian Haynes. Man, he just keeps climbing.
I love him. I fell in love with him early in the process. He's
Yeah.
the guy who I really like. I liked Steve Avila last year from TCU. I think Arizona or the Saints, I think, got him.
Mm.
And Haynes is my this year's Avila. I just think he's really, really going to be good.
Okay.
You know what, man? I don't care how this site has it ranked. What's our next pick? 45?
45.
I don't think he makes it there.
Yeah. We have 45, 56, 72. You know, the funny thing is, we didn't even pick up any, maybe even one draft pick. We just kind of like moved up. We get extra picks, but it's like we moved down, but then moved up.
We gave up next year's pick. That's what helps.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a little bit, yeah. So this is kind of a weird draft.
Or we moved up in a draft by moving down, but
by giving away a pick
allotment.
Yeah.
Do
you have any thoughts on Guyton? 9.73 RAS.
What's Barton's? What's his RAS?
999. That doesn't suck.
That's the pick. If we're doing a Joe Douglas mock, that's the pick.
Yep. We love versatility.
He played tackle in college. He can play inside. It fits Joe Douglas's draft ideology. It's athletic guys with positional flexibility. If in this scenario, trading back to 24, I think you could still take 45 and move up if they wanted to get a McConkey, if they wanted to get a receiver. Like that would be the other name I would say here. But with that 999 athletic score, if we're doing a Joe Douglas draft, I would take Barton. And now you have a guy who could potentially, according to this site, play all three positions. Yep. If you're worried about offensive line injuries and you want to get a guy for depth, you're basically drafting multiple guys in one here. Like you're not just drafting Joe Alt left tackle. You're not going to play Joe Alt at guard, right? Like his whole career, he's been a tackle. He's projected a tackle. You're not going to throw that shit off. Barton can go anywhere, anytime. And I would take Barton because you're basically getting three positions.
Yep, it makes sense to me. Like Rusty even said in the chat that he can play all five positions.
I meant guard, tackle, center, but yeah, you have a backup across the board.
Right. Yeah, just the negatives. Elite play strength. Strength can be built. Arm
Go hang out with Tyron Smith in the weight room. You'll be all right. You'll get stronger.
Yeah, I'm not sure. 6'5", 313. You got a lot to work with there, guys. We're gonna go a little different direction here than what we usually have. We are gonna go with Graham Barton. I want to say a quick hello to Wild Wave. Good to see you, man. What's up to you? Stop by. Wild Wave. All right, so let's take Graham Barton with our number 24 pick. And now we go down to 45. There goes Lad McConkey.
Oh man, I know what I want.
You want Penix?
No. How long have you've known me long enough to know the player that I want? I don't even have to say who I want.
All right. So looking at the trades real quick, the Minnesota trade does absolutely nothing for me at all. All right. So we'll move past that. Cleveland wants us to move 9 picks and they'll give us a 3rd round pick next year. Not exactly thrilled with that.
Real life? That is considered in real life. We basically get the 3 back that we gave up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know it doesn't make this mock interesting, and the mock is to do picks. But real life, that's the pick. You take that trade instantaneously to move back 9 spots and get a 3 next year. Yes,
right. Right. In real life, it would make sense. In this
Yeah.
case, not so sure. Yeah, Rusty Cooper Beebe is available. I mean, you could go with two straight offensive linemen if you wanted to, but Cooper Beebe absolutely is a guard. If you come to the conclusion that Graham Barden is best at guard, do you have a little bit too much of a glut potentially? I don't know if that's something you really want to have. Because put it this way, if you are going to draft two offensive linemen with your first two picks, you better be sure at least one can play tackle.
If
At
you're
least
drafting
one.
two guards, you're also saying we're not picking up your fifth year, Elijah
Yep.
Barry Tucker,
And
and
I
you're
don't
going
like
to
that.
say we're going to look to get out of the John Simpson deal. I
Yep.
don't think you go that route. Drafting two guards would be as bad as drafting two safeties back to back, in my opinion.
Yeah, was not a fan of
Now,
that move. Yeah, interesting that the top
I
two players are quarterbacks. Now,
yeah,
Tavondre Sweat is of course still there.
that's my pick.
He is and he is ranked 41 with a period. He's a 41 point as opposed to when he blew a .14 down in Texas.
Well done.
I know.
Well done. That's a good joke. Well done. That was well done.
Thank you. All right. So, Zach Frazier, Trey Benson, Max Melton definitely rising up the ranks. Max Melton is one of those players that everybody's starting to figure out looks like a fantastic prospect.
When's our next pick?
56, not too far away. Kitchens is interesting. Patrick Paul is a very good pass blocking tackle. Jalen Polk, very versatile wide receiver, can play inside, outside. That would be a nice weapon. And I feel like not enough people talk about Jalen Polk.
Yeah.
I feel like he's really underappreciated.
What's the wide receiver depth chart looking like? Because I know McConkey went.
Yeah, McConkey went. Polk, Corley, Roman Wilson, Ricky Pearsall, Jay McMillan, Tez Walker. Yeah, we got plenty.
Right.
So we got 45,
I'm okay with
56,
any of those guys.
72. I mean, we could take him with any one of the next three picks, and we'll still get somebody really good.
Yeah, I'm okay with waiting on wide receiver here. Now, listen, in real life, if Penix and Nix are there, I think if the Jets had this haul that they have, I think a quarterback could be the pick. I really do. If you have 2 2s, a 3, and 2 4s, I think you have the luxury now of taking a quarterback, especially if those two are there. But I know the DUI changes things, and he's probably going to get some disciplinary, either first offense, 4
he's going
games.
to drop.
We do have tackle depth.
It might be crazy. Some people may not like what I'm about to say.
You say it, so I don't have to. Go ahead.
We really do need some help at safety, and Cam Kitchens is, in my mind, the second best safety prospect on the board behind Tyler Nubin, who's already been drafted. And I've seen Kitchens mocked to the Jets in previous drafts as well.
I was thinking Melton because Reed and Carter could be in the last years of their deals, and those are not.
Too.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you draft Melton and you let Melton sit, and then you decide if you want to keep Reed or if you want to keep Carter, and Melton just goes into the other role.
5'11", 187. Wow,
you let Carter go. That's your new nickel, right?
Well, it's aggressive pressman cornerback.
Which we don't do much.
He's fluid if he's got the footwork and the change of direction. Because I really believe it's harder to be a slot corner than it is to be an outside corner. Because for one thing, you don't have the sideline. You have to deal with the sudden change of direction. They could go anywhere. Full swivel flexibility. Those 3 words get me. Full swivel flexibility.
Read the last one with flashes. That's the one that's got me thinking.
Zone, hawking in front of passes with the ball skills to high point.
Zone is the key word, right?
Sometimes you are drafting for the future. So I could see Melton having really high upside. If the chat was cool with that, I wouldn't mind that. Jets mess not loving it. 187 is too skinny. You know what? You could always add a little bit of weight on. You could always put on some good muscle. That's something that you could change. It's very hard to get better at something like explosiveness or learning how to track a ball downfield, stuff like that. But if it's a matter of adding some size, I mean, so maybe he's not the best, run defender.
Hey, just so you know, mess. Michael Carter II is 184 pounds.
My God,
Not Ray
can that guy
Mickens
eat
was
a cheeseburger
tiny.
already? Can we get Michael
Nickel
Carter a cheeseburger?
Nickels are you don't want a big nickel. You want a guy who's light and quick on his feet and he can change
Right,
direction quickly. You
right.
want the smaller guy inside because you're guarding the smaller guys inside.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean, I'm all right with any like if you took Sweat for defensive tackle, I'm okay. You take Melton, I'm okay. I wouldn't double up on interior offensive line.
right.
You
Yeah, I
can't
love BB,
draft as if
but
you're going to lose 14 offensive linemen every year, or use, not lose. Uh, a
okay.
safety, I don't know if I would do this early. Um, I would probably go receiver.
Yeah, because we could get pretty much any one of like the guys I'm putting on screen right now. We could pick up one of these guys later, like a Corley, Braden Fisk, that type of guy, Roman Wilson, if we wanted to. Those guys will drop,
Yeah,
and one of these guys maybe in this range are going to drop as well. I have a feeling if we don't get Melton now, we're not going to get him. So even though cornerback may seem like a bit of a reach looking at the roster this year for the long term, it could make sense because it's one of those things. Sometimes you got to let a good player go in free agency. See Bryce Huff, but it's with the idea. It's like with what we did with Will McDonald because we knew Bryce Huff was not coming back. Max Melton could be the same situation with MC2. It's a risk to be sure, but if they believe in the player that much, then you know, then you take that pick because you need great corners in this league. At least one or two great corners. So
I think you draft for now with an eye on the future. Uh, if Sweat doesn't have that DUI, I think it's a no-brainer for the Jets to bring in that body, and then you have him next to Quinnen because as much you got to remember what the Jets did draft-wise. Lawson and Huff had 1-year deals. They draft Will McDonald. Thomas, Fatu, and Kinlaw all have 1-year deals.
yep.
So there could be the pipeline of let's get this guy in here. I mean, I'm okay with Sweat. I love the player. I know there's the off the field shit that just happened.
I mean, I don't know of him to have a history of getting in trouble. If he made a stupid mistake one time, he has to do what he has to do. He has
Yeah.
to learn from it, and he goes forward. If it's a pattern, then absolutely not.
Later, Rusty.
All right. Have a good one, Rusty. Thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate your insight. I really do, except when it comes to talking about hockey. Um,
Mess said there's no future if we don't win now.
not for Douglas and Solid, there isn't.
I mean, we're in the day and era where guys miss games for concussions when they didn't. We had a game last year against Philly where we lost multiple corners. I don't know if they'll have Melton ranked that high. I know they'll have Tavondre Sweat ranked that high. I don't think that the Jets have Sweat ranked outside. Maybe they removed them from the board after the DUI. I don't know.
No.
But talent-wise, this is a steal to get him at 45.
I mean, I'm thinking to myself, who have the Jets drafted since Douglas came on board, who we knew had some kind of history,
I know.
like any notable incident? The only thing I could think of is Michael Clemens was some sort of minor gun charge. That's it. I mean, that's not a D. That's
How
not
about
on
the other
level.
D tackle from Clemson, Rook?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say that.
That's fine.
Yeah, 9.92 RAS. I've put him over on a previous show.
Done.
Very versatile, very raw. Has not been playing football very long. He's been playing like 2 years, but already creating quite the impact. All right, elite explosive capability, stressing blockers. Yeah, so he could defend the pass or the run. Better contingency plan as a rusher. Great. Okay. This I've never heard. Lacks great functional ankle flexion. Is that how you say flexion? Okay. It's always a bummer when they don't have great ankle flexibility, isn't it? But 6'4", 294. So this is a different style of player than what Sweat is. All right. We got to. All right. We're gonna have to make a decision here, especially if we're gonna do 2 drafts. So we have 45. We have 56. My thought right now is to take Melton and hope either Sweat or Oro makes it to 56.
That's fine.
All right, so I'm going to take Melton at 45. And it looks like it worked out. All right. So Sweat actually one pick in front of us to the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not looking at trades. I think we might be good with trades. But we could take Aurora right now at pick 56. Now, after this, we also have 72. So this is where we're starting to feast a little bit here, guys. I'm going to
I
scroll
would
down.
take Chris Jenkins. I forgot about him.
Chris Jenkins. I got to be honest. The more when I watched him, I saw more of an edge rusher as opposed to an interior defensive tackle.
There's your JFM replacement.
Yep. He could potentially be that.
You got to remember, we got to get some of these guys with these big contracts out the door. That's why I'm not saying there's anything against their play, but DJ Reed, big contract. You now have a replacement coming in, right? A potential replacement. JFM, big contract. Now you have a potential replacement coming in. You can't have all these big contracts everywhere, especially if you're going to be paying guys like Sauce, Garrett, JJ.
Yep.
You're going to need to get the pipeline going to let these guys walk, get some comp picks down the road. And it starts now because you don't want to have to play all these guys as rookies. You want them in the building for a year before you have to really rely on them. And it can never hurt to have depth at all these positions.
A lot of good options here. It's definitely about developing a pipeline because we keep talking about not having depth. Well, these are the types of opportunities where you can really build it. But Rook certainly makes sense here. Chris Jenkins, intriguing player. I don't know if he's quite the right fit for the Jets.
Okay.
We could go wide receiver now, or we could take that at 72. I mean, Corley is there, Roman Wilson is there as well.
I'm fine with Corley. Yeah,
I'm gonna take a look at defensive tackle. I want to see what the depth looks like. Yeah, I'm a big.
I got to use the bag. When I start drinking water, all of a sudden it catches up with me. GVH, good night, bro. If you're around available, man, hop in my channel tomorrow night.
Yeah, feel free to watch the rest of the draft tomorrow.
Back.
Okay, well, Scott Foster likes Roman Wilson. Okay, I can't blame you. Yeah, very, very good, very, very good player, very versatile. Love his ability to make tough catches. There's a lot of things to like about Roman. I acknowledge Roman. We could still get some good defensive tackles later, and Carter and Wingo, and guys like that. And after this, so 56, 72, and then we don't pick till 111. I want to take one more look at the drafts. Okay, so Arizona wants us to go down 10 picks. They give us 138. I don't know. Miami giving us an absolutely pitiful trade for this year anyway. That one's not even worth looking at. I don't know if I want to go down 10 picks. So 56, so we'd have 66, 172, 111, 138. Yeah, I think we should make the pick here, guys. So, all right. How is Wilson with the contested catch statistics? I'm sure in the window, so I need a second here. Let me see if I can find it. I'm pulling out my tablet. I got 3 devices going at once, guys. So it takes a minute to find everything. I don't know if I can find the stats, but I could probably find it on the pros and cons. All right, guys, if there's any position that you want me to pull up, let me know. If there's any player you're looking for here, let me know. But I think we're probably going to go either wide receiver, defensive tackle. I think safety or running back might come up soon, but we're not there just yet.
Who's the receivers?
Dane says my internet history is showing. I'm looking at the chat right now, and I'm not seeing that. I'm actually looking at everything right there, and it's it's me, it's Nick, and it's the. If you're looking at the advance your career thing, it's just a pop-up ad. It's not my. It's not. That's not what it is. So, but I appreciate it. I'm sorry. Did you want me to pull up the wide receivers?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. No problem. All right. So Corley is the top one on the board, I believe. Yes. All right, Roman Wilson, Ricky Pearsall, Jalen McMillan, Tez Walker, Johnny Wilson, blah, blah. And, of course, Malik Washington, who I really like. He'll be available much later. Brendan Rice.
Give me the RAS scores on the first 2 guys.
You got it. just gonna. Yeah, I'm looking up. Yeah, I'm doing like two things at once, but I could do it.
Okay.
7.76 for
Wow.
Corley.
Shocked.
Yeah, I'm very surprised.
All right. I don't know.
5'11", 250. I even wonder how they determine the. Does it? By the way, this may be a ridiculous question, but does anybody know how they calculate the RAS score? We know what we want it to be, but does anybody know what the formula
Well, I
is?
know it stands for relatively adding shit. I just
Yes.
don't know what it. I'm surprised. You figured. I don't know. I
Yeah.
really don't know.
Yeah,
I don't.
the thing with Roman, it's his footwork, it's his route running, it's his explosiveness, his acceleration. He likes to fight for passes, but he's 5'11", 188, so he's not going to be great. He's got the want to, but he doesn't really have the build to make a lot of contested catches. Now his RAS is a little bit higher than Corley's is. By a little bit. I didn't mean to click off. Let's go back there.
All right.
Hand-eye coordination on 50-50 balls. Yeah, relatively lean frame. Yeah.
The things that I saw that I liked were the ability to destroy a zone. If you're going to be in that slot and in the interior, I'm okay with him.
Yeah,
Because
I
if
would.
you're going to do
I
another
would
draft after this too, it's midnight already.
I know, no kidding. All right, let's go with Roman. We're gonna go a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna try to speed it up a little bit, guys. We don't want this turning into a green bean draft that ends at 3 a.m. if he still does that. All right. So we're down to pick 72. Let's see if there's any trades. Seattle wants us to go down 9 picks. They'll give us a 4. No. And Pittsburgh, not interested in that either. 72 and 185 for 84 next year's 3. We get our 3rd round pick back, which is nice. But for the sake of this, sorry. All right, so 72. After this, we're going to pick 111. We've taken an offensive lineman. I don't even know how to categorize Barton. A cornerback and a wide receiver. So to me, let's see what's on the board. Bo Braid, not a bad safety pick here. We've taken a wide receiver. Cole Bishop, I'm a big fan of at safety. I have him in my top 4 safeties, excuse me. So I would definitely be in for that. Christian Mahogany, I mean, again, it's another guard. I'm just worried about taking another guard. I know there's some good guards coming up, like Mahogany and Zinter and guys like that, but I feel like, yeah, we're pretty deep at guard now. All right. So, yeah, to me, looking at these picks, I'm scrolling through a few names. Yeah, Rosengarten is there. Kalen Bullock, another very good safety, more of your center field type safety. Renardo Green, we talked about him at corner, but not really in need at this point. All right. Nick, any position?
I here right now, I would take Rosengarten. I know he's climbing. I know this ranking has him lower, but other sites have him ranked and going much higher than this, where he doesn't make it to 72.
Right.
I would take Rosengarten.
Let's take a look. I know he's really a pass blocker. Has to work on his run blocking, but a 9.919 RAS, very, very good. I need an actual mouse, not a mouse pad. All right. Elite hinge flexibility. Yep. Very, very mobile. Gets amazing bend. Gets very low, good pad level. Simon sound run blocker.
The majority mocks I do, he's not there at 72. Like this.
Interesting.
I think this is.
I've seen some people who have him in their top 5 tackles. Yeah, some people love him.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, and this is the type of tackle, we don't necessarily need a great tackle now. We don't need a starter coming out of this draft, which is great, but you want somebody you could develop. And Rosengarten could potentially be that tackle. All right, I'm good with that. All right, so let's just take one quick look. I mean, yeah, we could still get a good wide receiver at 111 if we really wanted to. I mean, we did just take one, but yeah, running back, safety, those will definitely be positions to look at. And did we take and defensive tackle as well? But yeah, I'm good with building up the pipeline at tackle. So let's take Rosengarten, and now we wait. All right, I'm going to pull back the big board, guys. One trade offer: 111 and 257 for 131, 159, and 173.
I would skip all trades at this point.
I would too. All right. We're gonna have some good. We're gonna have some interesting choices now, guys. We only have 3 picks left. That's it, and
We
clearly
got,
we have a few that we got to address here.
and I
Now,
like
Michael.
our haul. Even if we took, even
Yeah,
taking the cornerback, we got a
yeah.
tackle for the future. Who could step in at right tackle. We got a guard who could step in for the future if we decide not to pick up Vera Tucker. Uh, and we got another receiver who's shifty, quick, and can eat up his own, which Rogers loves to do. So I think we've done very well so far.
Yeah, I'm pretty pleased. I mean, we made, yeah, we're starting to see. We'll look at the end what the trades turned into after we're done. That's always kind of fun to go back and look at. I know Nathan Colgrove wants us to look at safeties, so I'm going to pull that up. And we have we definitely have some good ones here. And Kalen Bullock, Tyke Smith wasn't a guy I was very big on. I'm not as high on him as some other people are. I definitely like Oladapo. I'm definitely a Keaton Oladapo fan. I've seen some people project him to the Jets. Yeah, I would say this: getting Kalen Bullock, I think, would be a really good sign. I know he doesn't have a great RAS score, but he's got long strides. He's got the range you want in sort of that center field role. The fluid hips, I like that. Instinctive playmaking threat who can track and high point. Okay. Can lose track of the ball when patrolling congestion. Okay. Doesn't have the master play strength. I mean, yeah, he's a little bit yeah, so he's a little bit thin, but he's smart. He's tough. Yep. So I happen to like Bullock quite a bit in this spot. To get him at 111 in the 4th round, I figured he would go day 2 easily. Very easily. Wild Wave wants quarterback. Well, I'll tell you what, we got a pretty good one or two to choose from. You got Michael Pratt available, but then after that, it's Jordan Pratt. So the Spencer Rattlers are off the board, but you could go with Pratt here as well. I think either one of those 2 picks would be great. Let's look at running back as well, guys. And you got some good ones. Yeah, Dylan Lobby would be a good one. Jalen Wright, I think, is going to be fantastic. Isaac Garendo, people falling in love with him. Isaiah Davis is rising up the boards. We talked about Tyrone Tracy not that long ago. Yeah, you could definitely get some good running backs. I think we can get a good running back a little bit later. And defensive tackle, that's the other position I want to look at. Wingo, Tyler Davis, good run stopper. Yeah, guys, there's some good places to go here. Some really good spots to go. Nick, what do you think about what we have to work with here at pick number 111?
I'm okay with the safety, or even James Williams, the linebacker from Miami.
Yeah, he really is a linebacker more so than a safety. He was
Yeah,
listed as a safety, but
which is what they like in this scheme, right? They want guys who can run. They want guys who can get sideline to sideline.
They
I
wanted
know.
to sign Keanu Neal. That's all you need to know.
Yeah,
That's the kind of player this is.
yeah. So I mean, I'm okay with either a safety or the linebacker because, like I said, this is a draft where if we got multiple picks here now in rounds 2 and 4, this is where you take a chance and get a position you normally wouldn't take when you just have a 1 and a 3. Getting 2 2s and having 2 4s still.
Uh-huh.
This is where you get your pipeline, guys. This is where you when you double up in the mid rounds, you draft for need and you draft for future with the other one.
I got to tell you, I got a really good feeling about Kalen Bullock. So
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm going to take
I'm
him.
100% fine with that pick.
I'm going to take him at 111. All right. Now this is going to be a pretty painful wait because there's going to be some good, a lot of good talent just went off the board. There goes Ike. Here's Jacobs. Okay. Wow, Christian Jones made it all the way down there? Man, if we had taken him as our tackle instead of Rosengarten, I'd have still been happy with that pick. All right. Oh, Elijah Jones. Yeah, we did just talk about him on tonight's show. I mentioned that I'm a pretty big fan of his. Of course, we did already take Max Melton. No complaining, but we did. All right, let's look at running back. I mean, a quarterback, I don't know if we'll see much at this point. Yeah, at this point, I don't even know if we're going to go quarterback unless we go with like Bean or Slovis. I'm not a Sam Hartman fan, really. We could go with one of the developmental quarterbacks, either Reed or Bradley. We could do that. Running back, Blake Watson, George Holani. Carson Steele may not be a bad idea. He's more that power running back, 6 foot, 228 pounds.
It's too early.
And I'm sure my boy Jawar Jordan, yep, he's there at 244. Rasheen Ali is not bad. He did have, as we know, an injury issue at the Senior Bowl. 5'11", 206. I know that some people like him too. All right, quick recap on where we've been, just in case anybody's joining us. So we started with Graham Barton, and then we also picked up Roger Rosengarten to help the offensive line. We also got Roman Wilson at wide receiver, and we picked up 2 players in the secondary, and Max Melton and Kalen Bullock. So, I mean, I would like to address something in the front 7 with one of these last 2 picks. So, I mean, I would probably look – I feel like, the main positions I would look at are quarterback, running back, and defensive tackle, most likely. Although, let's see if there's an edge player that we might want to plug in. Zion, Tua. I'm wondering if any of the names that I mentioned tonight are still on the board. I don't think any of them are. All right. Apparently, I was reaching a little bit too high, guys, when I was talking about some edge players. At defensive tackle, Evan Anderson from Florida Atlantic's been getting some love, but we could wait on him. But his RAS sucks. 3.61. All right. I'd say if we didn't get Melton, I'd be banging the drum for Elijah Jones right now. I really would. Blake Watson at Memphis. Scott Foster likes Dylan Johnson. Okay, Nathan wants to go for 5'9", 200, 8.91 RAS. Actually, let me see if I have a scouting report real quick on Blake Watson. I might have something here. Guys, you could tell we really rehearsed this, can't you? Monty Bailey, George Jordan, Will Shipley, Dylan Lobby, Isaiah Davis, Cody Schrader, Carson Steele, Kamani Vidal. All right, so had 14 touchdowns this year. He could kick return. Very good hands. Very good at jet sweeps. More of a slot receiver. He's but 5'9". 5'9", 195. I don't know if I'd be using him as a receiver. I don't know about that. And a quick look at quarterback. Yeah, they use a lot of RPOs at Western Kentucky. Yeah, but Reed was the one who was throwing the passes to Malachi Corley. If we had drafted Corley, that might make some sense. Want me to check defensive tackle? I didn't really love what I saw at defensive tackle. I think somebody mentioned Logan Lee earlier from Iowa. I think Rusty did. 6'5", 281, 9.2 RAS. Yeah, the guys definitely mentioned Logan Lee earlier. I've seen Juwan Briggs as well. Yeah, there's a number of places we could go. I don't know if there's one pick that I'm like really, really in love with. I'm going to go back to the big board here. So Jones, Foster, Proctor, Christian Jones, another tackle. Could add depth at tight end if we wanted to, but We've seen some of the tight ends we talked about in McLaughlin and Holker. Sione Vaki, we talked about him. All right, Nick, I'm a little bit stuck between a rock and a hard place with this pick. What you think?
Sorry, I'm dealing with something. Okay. I don't know. Your call. I
call on this one,
Nathan. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I got to get going because I'm not gonna be able to focus. I got to deal.
Okay. Okay, man. Well, thanks for your help. I appreciate you coming by tonight.
I'll see you later, but I'll text you.
Sounds good.
I'll text you what's up. Good night, everyone in the chat. Thanks for watching me. Thanks for supporting Adam. Make sure you throw him a like, and hopefully see you guys tomorrow night on my channel at 10. Be good.
See you later, Nick. Good night. All right, guys. All right, it's 12:10, so I'm going to kind of run through this. We're just going to take Carson Steele. We're going to take a running back, a little bit of a power counter to what Brees and Izzy have to give. So I'm just going to do that. Yeah, because we're going to do the wheel. We gotta get rolling. I don't want to keep you guys here all night. And then we wait till Oh, wow. Dylan Johnson went at pick 256. How about that? And Carter Bradley is there as well. Oh, you want me to look at Scott? You want me to look at receiver? Okay, you got it. Anthony Gold, who is our buddy Johnny Jimenez. That's his guy. He's available. I would say though Carter Bradley would be a pretty good target at quarterback. He's still on the board. 5'8", 170. That's the thing. He's only 5'8", so he's really a returner. Nothing wrong with that. You know what? I'm going to take Anthony Gold. I'm going to do that one for Johnny and hope that we could maybe bring in Carter Bradley as a UDFA. All right, so that is our draft for tonight for round one. Graham Barton, Max Melton, Roman Wilson, Roger Rosengarten, Kalen Bullock, Carson Steele, and Anthony Gold. Let's take a quick look at the trades and how they went. Oh, my God. We pretty much put the Herschel Walker trade to shame. It would take too long to break all of this down. But, all right, guys, I'll tell you what. We will go ahead and do a quick I'm going to do this one lightning fast, but I'm going to do it with you guys. We'll try to do it in about 20 minutes from start to finish. That's going to be the goal. So I've got the wheel ready to go. So I'm going to restart the draft. All right, let's go 7 rounds. Let's go with the Jets. Enter solo draft. Here we go. Now, as you guys know, we're going to spin the wheel, and that dictates what we're going to do, what position we're going to go with, and if we have to take a trade, or it might be chat's choice. So that's what we're going to do. All right, guys, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. Nathan Colgrove grades that trade a B. I think that's pretty fair. And we have to start with any offensive lineman. All right, that's a good place to be. So we got to go offensive line. Now, if we look at the linemen who were already taken in this draft, it was just Joe Alt and Olu Fashanu. So we still have a good variety of players to take, but we must take one with pick number 10. So obviously JPJ is there, Graham Barton is there, Christian Haynes, but I'm sure we're going to be going tackle, either Fawaga, Fatanu, Mims, maybe Latham. So guys, put it down there in the chat. We'll stick with just the first 4, Fawaga, Fatanu, Mims, or Latham. What are we feeling with this pick? So I'll give everybody about a minute to enter that in. All right, I see some support for J.C. Latham. Okay. Hank G likes Fawaga. Yep, guys, everybody who's in the chat, your voice is going to be heard. Your voice is going to be heard, so put your vote down. All right, looks like Fawaga's going to pull away with this one. All right, that's good enough for me. Yep, Fawaga's got the majority of the chat. Wow. All right, Talise Fawaga from Oregon State is a New York Jet. And now we got to go all the way down to 72. Bye-bye second round. And there we go. Okay, so we land on pick 72. At the end, we should compare the 2 drafts and see which one is better. I've already closed out the other one, but it'll be interesting to see which one works better. All right, we've got the wheel back. So let's see what it has us do. Let's spin that wheel in 3, 2, 1. And it's coming to a stop on defensive tackle. So we're going to the opposite side of the line here. All right, so we have to pick defensive tackle at pick 72. And let's see who's available. We got Michael Hall Jr. as the top-ranked one. Now, to me, this is not a defense. He's only 299 pounds. To me, this is, I don't know if he quite has the size and the lower body strength you're looking for, but he does have wonderful speed. Let me click back on that. Want to scroll down for you. Again, ankle flexion, guys. I don't know what the hell this is. I'm no chiropractor. I'm not a kinesiologist or anything like that, but Good Lord. I don't know who writes these freaking reports. Yeah, lacks the elite mass. That's my biggest concern there. Can be shot. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't mind Hall. I happen to be more of a Braden Fisk fan myself. Mason Smith, a little bit hit or miss, had some injury issues. Dwayne Carter, I like a lot. All right. Hank likes Hall Jr. Well, here's the thing with Fisk. He's got a 9.89 RAS, and he dominated the combine, as I recall. Great explosiveness, great timing, turbocharged motor on every down, the quintessential hustle player. I like that. That's what I would be going with lower and upper body strength and absorbing pride through double teams. And with the weaknesses, because we got to be fair, he's a little bit older. He's going to be 24 years old soon. All right. Lacks the has a little bit of lack on mass, but he's still got he's about the same, not too much of a different size than Hall in all fairness, but I just think he's a little bit more suited for what the Jets want to do. He'd be a 3 technique, certainly not a 1 technique. All right, Harlan likes McKinley Jackson. All right, I'm going to pull that up. Ooh, the rest is horrendous. 3.07. Very dense, compact. Well, this is more of a 1 technique. I don't know if that's what the Jets are going to go with. Is that standard run stopper first and foremost? Because that's what McKinley really is. It's very interesting though. Yeah, amped up, twitched up bowling ball with exciting foot speed for a physical build. I like that. High IQ run defender, surprisingly deep pass rush arsenal for a nose tackle with mobility to channel it. Sometimes plays far too much upright because he doesn't have lower body mass. So he's 326, but he's lacking lower body mass. Well, where's the mass at? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you could go pretty much with any one of these. Mason Smith, I'm not quite as big on, but yeah, Hall and Fisk are ranked quite a bit higher than the other ones. Yeah, it seems like we're a little bit mixed here. And then, of course, there's Dwayne Carter, who is a multi-year captain at Duke, 6'2", 303 pounds, so a little bit more size than most of the other the first couple guys we talked about. Explosive, good length, natural leverage, allows him to stack and shred. 3-year captain for Duke, known for his leadership on and off the field. That's the kind of player Joe Douglas is going to like, Robert Saleh is going to like. Weaknesses, occasionally overextends, gives up the base, trying to shoot up gaps in the run game. Movement, mainly power-oriented, can improve at sequencing clubs, swims, and swipes. You can always teach an old dog new tricks. I'm not too worried. If they're only one-dimensional, I'm not as worried about that because we have a very good defensive line coach that could teach very well. Hey, Grandizer, how you doing, man? I'm glad you're here. Haven't seen you in a little while. I'm glad you stopped by. All right. Doesn't have any flexibility. All these guys are lacking ankle flexion. Man, oh, man. All right, guys. So between Carter, Jackson, Fisk, and Hall, who would you like to take? All right, Nathan's leaning towards Fisk. Scott wants Fisk. Yep, Fisk had already gone with him. All right, guys, make your votes heard. We'll give you about a minute. All right. Yeah, then after this, we've got what? 5 more picks. Yeah, so we had 7 picks in the last draft as well. Okay. All right, give you guys about 10 more seconds or so. Grandizer wants Michael Hall. Okay. Or Hall and Oates. Well, I can't go for that. No can do. All right, guys. Fisk has a little bit of an edge. So we're going to take Braden Fisk from Florida State University and bring him to the Jets. Not too bad for random wheel for our first 2 spots. And now we go to pick 111. So now we're going to go back to the wheel. Let's max it out. And let's see what the wheel has us do. And we're going to do that in 3, 2, 1. And it's going to come to a stop on running back. Oh, we almost had Chat's choice, but we've got to get that running back to complement Breece Hall. So let's go to our list of running backs. And we've got some winners here, guys. We've got Braylon Allen, the bulldozer himself from Wisconsin, the big Badger. We got Bucky Irving from Oregon, Audric Estime, another good power running back from Notre Dame, Dylan Lobby, sort of like the play at the lower competition, but very fast. Not great size, but wonderful speed. Jalen Wright, I like him a lot too. So yeah, running back may not be where we would have wanted to go in the 4th round, but you are definitely going to get some talent here for sure. I mean, really, any one of the first 5. Yeah, there's so many good ones. Anyone like the top 7 or 8 would be fantastic. But at pick 111, to me, I'm going to click on a few of these guys. Allen doesn't have a RAS, but has elite size mass. He's going to be 20 years old. Yep, great long track. Accelerative capacity. Translation, his ass runs fast. Solid vision on inside zone runs. Can swerve through congested areas. Improved his pass blocking. Noticeable hip stiffness. Isn't free-flowing or fluid. Wait. Let's go. Wait, what did I just see? Can swerve through congested areas, but isn't free-flowing or fluid. Okay, I don't know how you could have both, but all right. Not great stop and start. Yeah, that's true. He's just a bulldozer. He runs people over. So, all right. Bucky Irving. Oh, my God. A 2.25 RAS. No. Audric Estime, I do like. So he's more of the... See, that's the thing with a power runner. When you have a power running back, almost always they're not going to be very fluid because they're big. Okay? So, to me... to me, I don't expect fluidity. That's not what I'm not looking at them to change directions. I'm looking for them to run people over. Get that 3rd down, get that 3rd and 1, get that 4th and goal. That's what I'm looking at. All right. Nathan Colgrove wants me to look at Jalen Wright. I will do that. Yeah, 5'10", 210 pounds, 9.81 RAS. I think I've still got my scouting report here on the tablet, so I'm going to read about Jalen Wright real quick for you guys. 5'11", 210 pounds, 7.39 yards per carry. That's first in college football this year. Similar to Isaiah Pacheco. He has that frenetic running style. Shifts gears very fast, starts and stops super well. Great patience. 4.35 yards per after contact per carry. Not very experienced in the passing game, mostly catching dump-offs and screens. He's not used to going downfield. And, 5'11", 210, a little bit of a lean frame. 9.81 RAS score. So there are some good ones. Scott Foster, what does Marshawn Lloyd look like? Well, he's 5'8", 220, 8.61 RAS. I've actually got some stuff on here for you as well. Yeah, transferred from South Carolina. Missed 3 games with a quad contusion. Not a big deal. Did well in the Senior Bowl. Looks like a tank. Moves like a go-kart with his feet. I did read that once. Very explosive. Loves to be in the weight room. He tore an ACL, but it was 4 years ago. Very good receiving back. He likes to go downfield. Reliable hands. Good character. A lot of community work. Not a good pass blocker. He relies too much on the initial pop. Too often he gets pushed aside. And he has 8 fumbles and 289 career carries. He had 2 fumbles this year against Utah. So Lloyd to me is okay, but I'm not feeling 4th round for him. I think Lloyd's a little bit lower than the rest of these guys. All right. So, Assist wants Allen for that compliment, that red zone. If you're looking for the red zone, you're looking at Allen or you're looking at Estime. You're looking at one of those 2 guys. That to me, that's absolutely what we're looking at. Now, Estime was Player of the Year for the state of New Jersey when he was in high school, if you like that. Neither of them are going to both of them are really your ground and pound backs. So, like, either one of those 2, to me, would be a great fit. But, Allen is 20 pounds heavier, and he's 3 inches taller. Jets mess, get a red zone running back. Yeah, either one of these 2 guys. So it's either going to be Allen or it's going to be Estime. So I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah, Allen, he had 28 catches last year. So Allen can help you a little bit catching the ball. People are seeing a little bit of Michael Turner and Gus Edwards in him, and I do like that. Don't like the fumbles? Yeah, I don't blame you. And Allen is a little bit, again, Allen's very young. Allen's only 19 years old. He's had averaged about a fumble every 5 to 6 games, but again, that can be taught. So yeah, when you're that young, I mean, Tiki Barber, basically figured out how to carry the ball. So boy, oh boy. Yeah, it's a tough call. I feel like it's gonna be Allen or it's gonna be Estime here. All right. I'm just reading up a little bit more on Estime. All right. Quick feet. Estime has quick feet for missed tackles and good explosiveness to convert speed to power for yards after contact. His 94 PFF rushing grade was the best in the FBS this season, if anybody cares. But yeah, these are both your ground and pound backs. All right. I think, yeah, I guess my only thing I'm a little worried about, Estime is a little more seasoned, a little bit smaller. Both can block pretty well. But Allen's a little bit more raw. But I think we can live with that because we're only asking him to do so much right now. I like the idea of the Thunder and Lightning. You know what? I'm going to go with Allen. I just got a good feeling about Allen. He'll need a little seasoning, but I think in his first year in his limited role, he can be very productive, and we can watch him get a little better and a little better. So let's go with the young player, the big guy. We're going to take Braylon Allen at 111. All right, and now we're going to go to pick 134. Okay, so now we got to go back to the wheel. Let's max that wheel out. Scott likes Bucky Irving. He is a good ball player. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he is good. He is good, but yeah, that rest is yuck. Yeah, he has a little bit of a slim build. I think that's one of the real things with him. But yeah, very electric feet, slippery running back for sure. He definitely is that. Okay, here we go. Let's spin the wheel in 3, 2, 1. And it's going to come to a stop on, safety. Oh, we almost had any offensive player, but we're going to go safety with this pick. All right, so far, just to recap, we've gone Fuaga, Fisk, and Allen. That's pretty good. Now we got to go with the safety, and let's see who we have available. So we have Malik Mustafa. Oh, boy. I think oh, my God. Please tell me there's more than this. Oh, Lord. I got to tell you guys, I'm not too thrilled with what we have here. All right. So what I would say with some of these guys, I gotta go down. I gotta find my safeties. There we go. All right. So yeah, all the guys I like: Newbin, Kitchens, Bullock, Bullard, Braid, Bishop. Jaden Hicks, unfortunately, is gone. Oladapo's even gone. Oladapo's already gone in the 4th round. Really? Who was the last safety to get? Yeah, Oladapo at 127. Thanks, Houston. All right. I like Jalen Simpson, but he's always down here. We still have Josh Proctor. All right, so a couple things. Malik Mustafa, 5'9", 210 pounds, 9.38 rest, which is really good. Senior Bowl, team captain, runs a 4.33 40-yard dash, 99 percentile of all safeties. So he likes to line up in press, explosive mover, as we can obviously tell. Very good in run support, aggressive tackler. You got to be worried about the height at only 5'9", though. That's not so good. So he can get beat over the top. So that if he was about 2-3 inches taller, that would be really, really good. And Tyke Smith, that's the other one I'll mention. 5'9", 206 pounds, 22 years old. Went to the Senior Bowl as well. Let's see. He's described as a tough-minded overachiever, aware in the red zone, good instincts, anticipates reads very, very well. Let's see. Susceptible to double moves, good but not great recovery speed when working downhill. He can have trouble making plays on the ball. Hank G says 5 height. Yeah, 5 height. Same height, 5'9". Yeah. Oh, and Josh Proctor. I'll mention Josh Proctor since he's down there. He's more of the downhill tackler, 6'1", 198, 24 years old. Had a pick 6 against Maryland against Little Tua. Very good blitzer. Good on sideline to sideline. Great on route recognition. Good, tough player. There are times, sort of the issues. This is going to be a run defender, not a pass. A guy you'd have in pass coverage. So I'm not sure that's what we want because we've already got Chuck Clark. I know it's for 1 year, but I'm not sure that's the kind of safety we really, really want. Scott, we've seen some great short defensive backs in this league. Yeah, we have, as long as they're put in a position that, where they're able to use the best of their abilities. I'm really leaning Mustafa with this particular pick. The fact that he has as much speed as he does, hey, maybe he could even return. If he's that fast, maybe he could do that. You just don't want him playing like center field. So to me, guys, I think we got to go with Mustafa with this pick. So I'm going to go Malik Mustafa at pick 134. And now we got to wait all the way to pick 185. Okay, and all right, yep, there goes Logan Lee. All right, let's go back to the wheel. All right, guys, so let's see what we wind up. I think we haven't had, hopefully we can get like a wide receiver or something like that, or a skill position player, something like that. There are those Chat's Choice options, so let's see if we wind up over there. Okay, boys, here we go. Let's spin that wheel in 3, 2, 1. And it's going to be, oh, please don't go any further, any offensive player. Oh, my God. We had to draft 2 safeties in a row. Oh, Mike McCagnon will be doing cartwheels. All right, any offensive player that we want. Now, to recap, we've taken a tackle and a running back. We are yet to take a pass catcher or an interior lineman or a quarterback for that matter. And remember, this is our last pick until 256 and 257. So to me, the first place I want to look is wide receiver. And I got to say, I like what I see there with Jalen Coker. I think that right away, that gets me pretty interested. Assist, yep, that's where Assist wants to go as well, wants to go with that receiver. So Coker, I think we talked about him. I got to make sure I don't mix up Jalen Coker and Javon Baker. That would be very easy to do. All right, Coker, 6'1", 218 pounds. Last year, 59 catches, 1,035 yards, 15 touchdowns. Great route runner. Steven Smith loves him. Remember, Steven Smith called him the best route runner in the entire draft class. Can line up anywhere on the field. 9.46 RAS, I believe. All right, the numbers I saw were 9.46. This is obviously less, but I had seen 9.46. The deep speed is pretty average. He's not a burner, and his level of competition was not great playing at Holy Cross, but you've got some ability here. Yep, I like Ryan Flournoy as well. Yeah, it's amazing. Before you could get him with the last pick, and now forget about it. No chance. He's going 6th round at the worst. All right. So, yep, Flournoy, 9.89 RAS, deep threat. There we go. Huge hands, the biggest hands of any wide receiver. Was not ranked out of high school, so he had a lot of adversity to overcome. Doesn't really have the suddenness to create separation, and his footwork is not as smooth as you would like. But 6'0", 202, Coker is 6'1", 208. So Coker a little bigger. Just for fun, we'll look at quarterback real quick. We could go Joe Milton if you wanted to get your next quarterback. You could do that. And I'm going to look at guard, if there's anybody here that we know. There's Clark Barrington, Kyle Hergel, Kingsley Aguakin. Yeah, that's all well and good. I'm pretty sure we're going wide receiver here, right? Okay. Well, Flournoy is going to give you a little more speed than Coker will, but Coker gives you pretty much everything but the speed. Jaquan Jackson. Oh, we talked about him. Yeah, he is. Now that is another potential returner. Yeah, very good short area quickness, but he's only 5'9", 188, 5.35 RAS. But he has the ability to take the ball and turn into an explosive play. All right, so yeah, he played with Michael Pratt. This is also a very good potential kick returner as well. He's had some drop issues, and the fact that he's 5'9", he's not going to make contested catches. You got to get the ball to him in space, let him take it upfield. maybe this is a slot receiver. So you have the speed here, Scott, but you really don't have a lot of size. So you're not going to find this late the package. It's just what traits do you really value the most? And also, if you want speed, well, for God's sakes, Anais Smith, who I think is, as I remember, is crazy fast, right? Didn't he set? Wasn't that the guy who set the combine record? The 5'9", 190 guy? I think it was Anais Smith, right? Pretty sure. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. There's a couple of places that we could go with that pick. To me, Coker is probably the best player, but Jackson and Flournoy give you some very good traits as well. Yeah, we're definitely going to go wide receiver with this pick. I don't think there's any question about that. All right, chat, let me know who do you want? Do you want Coker, Jackson, or Flournoy? Any one of the top three. So let's put your votes right down there in the chat, and we will make our pick, and then we get all the way to the end with our last two picks. If I was a Texas guy, yeah, Smith is Texas A&M. Oh, was it Xavier Worthy? Yeah, but I heard like Anais Smith was like really killing it. I don't know. All right, looks like Coker's going to win this one. All right, so we're going to take him. Oh, there went Muhammad Kamara right after that. All right, pull up the big board. So now we're going to go all the way. Yep, Flournoy went at the beginning of the 7th round. Okay. Just curious who the best players left are on the board. Yeah, Carter Bradley, Jawar Jordan, Sam Hartman, Ryan Watts, the safety from Texas. One of the spaces that we've never had this on the wheel before is where is it here? The highest ranked player. All right, so if we land on that, we have to take whoever the best ranked player is on the board. Okay, guys, here we go. Yeah, Worthy did it, but I know Smith did well too. Okay, here we go. We're going to do pick 256. Let's spin the wheel in 3, 2, 1. Been on the air almost, over 2.5 hours. Awesome. Oh, man, it's another safety. All right. Well, hey, we built up our safety depth for sure. I think, hopefully, is Jalen Simpson still there? Yes, Jalen Simpson, my guy. I like him. Yeah, I'm a Jalen Simpson fan. 5'11". I know he's a little small at 179. I don't know Ryan Watts. I'm going to look him up. I'm not very familiar with him. I want to be fair. But Simpson, just to read about him very quick, went to the Senior Bowl. Free safety range, can cover sideline to sideline, converted cornerback, great burst, great acceleration, good feel for what's happening around him. He does have a smaller frame, obviously, so he can get out muscled. He just doesn't have the physicality as a tackler. He focuses on the strip more than the tackler. So he's going to have to bulk up. But when you combine the speed, the ball hawking ability, and the coverage versatility, Jalen Simpson, I still believe, could be a very good player. You might need to put on 10, 15 pounds. But let's look at Ryan Watts. He's the top-ranked player left. 6'2", 208, a 9.12 RAS. All right, guys, you know what? I'm gonna do something real quick. I am going to pull up Ryan Watts and see if I can get a scouting report. I'm hoping it'll be either like the Draft Report or the NFL website. The Draft Network is usually pretty good. So is the NFL. All right, I'm going to pull. I like the Draft Network a lot for my scouting reports. 6'3", 208. Possesses the ideal length and athleticism to develop to a starting caliber zone corner. So this website has him listed as a corner and not a safety. Huh. Okay. What I'm really looking at here is if he has the ability to play both positions. Yeah, this thing really has him as a corner. I'm going to get out of this and go to the NFL.com, probably what Lance Zierlein would have written. Let's see what they have Watts listed on here. Remember, this is the same website that had Graham Barton as a center. Yeah, they got Ryan Watts as a corner as well. Okay, that's muted. Yeah, I don't want any volume. So, yeah, they've got him as a cornerback as well. So, yeah, so I guess he's really more of a corner than he is a safety, is what we're concluding here. Al Walcott doesn't have a height or a weight. Very good. All right, guys, I'm just going to take, I'll look at Miller Bradford, 5'10", 191, great. I'm sorry, I'm going to go with Jalen Simpson. Hope everybody's good with that at 256, just to speed it up a little bit. Well, I mean, Watts seemed interesting, but I mean, two of the most reliable draft websites have him as a cornerback. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do. All right, one spin left, guys. Hopefully we're going to get Chat's choice here. I really hope so. And it's going to land on trade if offered. Well, I can guarantee you we're not getting a trade offer for Mr. Irrelevant. All right, so we're going to respin the wheel for our last pick of the night. And sure enough, it is Chat's choice. So that means that you, the audience, get to make this last pick. All right, so let's get out of there, go back to the simulator. I'm going to pull up the big board. Now to reflect on where we were, what we've got, we have picked Talise Fuaga, Braden Fisk, Braylon Allen, Malik Mustafa, Jalen Coker, and Jalen Simpson. This draft is better than our last one. Man. All right, so we picked two safeties on defense, a defensive tackle and two safeties. And then on offense, we drafted an offensive tackle, a running back, and a wide receiver. So we haven't addressed corner. We haven't addressed quarterback. We could go linebacker. And I don't know. Maybe an interior offensive lineman, although I don't know how many good ones we're going to get. But looking at the board here, I mean, we could take Carter Bradley at quarterback as our developmental guy. All right, Nathan likes that. All right, I'll look quickly. Not running back. I think we just took Coker, a wide receiver. I mean, I'll take a look, but I don't know if there'll be anybody we know. Yep, Anthony Gold's there. We've taken him. Now, in the interior line, we've got Kyle Hergel from Boston College, far and away the best guard left on the board. And at center, is Kingsley Aguakin still there? He is. I like Aguakin. He can play a lot of different positions for you. 9.11 RAS, 6'3", 304 pounds. That might be a nice developmental offensive line piece. All right, we'll take a look at edge. Yeah, still not anybody there that we know too well. Linebackers, yep, Jordan McGee is there. We talked about Jordan McGee a little bit earlier today. And a cornerback, Jaden Davis from Miami. Oh, there's Quantez Stiggers. Yep, cornerback from the Toronto Argonauts. So Stiggers is at 309. Part of me wants to just take Stiggers out of good faith, you know. So this website has Stiggers ranked at 309 overall. So I'm looking at what we have. We could go Carter Bradley. That would make sense. We could go Aguakin to help the offensive line, or I think we could go Stiggers. So I think those are about the three options that I think make the most sense for us. So Bradley, Aguakin, and Stiggers. Yeah, everything else I think we're pretty good. Evan Anderson from Florida Atlantic. I know some people like him too, so I guess I would throw him in as well. So again, this one is all you guys. You make the choice. Scott Foster wants the immortal Storm Duck. Of course he does. 318, the cornerback from Louisville. 6 foot, 195, 9.56 RAS. Nothing to complain about with those numbers. All right, chat. All right, put down who you want. I'm gonna give. Let's give you another minute. Nobody's got the majority of the lead yet, so if you haven't voted, put down who you'd like us to draft with this mock draft. We've only got about another 2 weeks of doing these. Only 2 more weeks, and then we're gonna have to find some new crazy things to do. 2 hours, 45 minutes. Wow. This keeps up. I'm just going to take my boy Jason Henderson. Yeah, I will take him. No, I won't. All right, chat. Anybody want to? All right, if you haven't voted yet, guys, put down. Let me know who you want to go with. Harlan likes Aguakin. Okay, Nathan. So Nathan is interested in both Carter Bradley and Aguakin. All right, so it definitely look, and so it's like we've got, Nathan's kind of voting twice in a way, a little bit, but he's good either way, and I agree. I think both players would be fine. Stiggers has a vote. Storm Duck somehow has a vote. Harlan likes a guacan. All right, guys, let's go ahead and do that. Let's add one more piece to the offensive line. We're going to draft Kingsley Aguacam, the center from Florida. I got to tell you, I think the random draft was way better than the first one. Now, part of that is we took an early pick. We took Fuaga instead of Graham Barton. I think that had something to do with it, but we got Fuaga, Braden Fisk, Braylon Allen, Malik Mustafa, Jalen Coker, Jalen Simpson, and Kingsley Aguacan. I mean, the only thing is, if it wasn't random, I mean, I would, instead of two safeties, maybe instead of Simpson, I would have drafted maybe Carter Bradley, a quarterback. Something like that would have made sense. But I'll tell you what, I think this was a good draft too. These random drafts just tend to be good. So, all right, let's stop sharing. And guys, I think it's time to wind down here. We've been going at it for just about 2 hours and 45 minutes. So just want to say I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. There'll be more content coming up soon. We did a live stream. Oh, Nathan's grading this one a B-. Actually harder on this one than he was on the first draft. I would have gone, if you want to go with the two safeties, yeah, but I got a grade on a curve, right? But yeah, I thought the first 5-6 picks were real good. Real good. So, and again, we picked 256 and 257. The other draft, we only had one of those really late picks. So, but considering what we had to work with and considering the randomness, I thought it was really good. All right. So, as far as what's coming up, we might be doing another live stream. It depends on the schedule. There's still some live stuff going on. Don't know what's coming up over the next few days. Hopefully by the end of the week, I will. And but if I do live stream Rangers Islanders this Saturday, I will put a notification up about that ahead of time. And yeah, we'll see what happens with the upcoming Jets news. But I mean, for me, it's tough to do a video about every single rumor that comes up. But if there is some big news, yes, we will definitely talk about it. And yeah, just working a lot here then with health issues. Okay, understand, man. Get well, brother. Get well. All right. The hockey takes apparently offend certain people, but that's okay. I just try to be objective and fair. I'm passionate, but I am trying to be fair, especially after the last playoffs when I went off. Always want to be fair. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. I hope you had a great time. Have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair. Good night.